there, friendlies. Welcome to the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream where we got bevies, we got blades, and we're going to talk about some bushcrafty stuffs. I'm glad I could be here with you tonight. I'm glad all you could be here with me tonight. It would not be a Jess Unite if I hadn't forgotten to do something. So there we go. We're good. We're good to go. Tonight I got readings. I got a reading. I got news, which is good. It feels like I'm back in business. The reading tonight is from Stephen Baxter's fabulous sci-fi novel, Manifold Space. Is that really bushcrafty? I had a thought while reading this that made me want to talk about it with you guys. Short reading, though. Short reading. Before we get to the show, I just want to do the usual housekeeping where I say, if you're watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, I'm grateful to know that you're still watching the show, even though you cannot participate in the side chat. No, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. No, I'm not. Next to the video window here. Love knowing your eyes are on my stuff. Like to see the comments. I am trying my damnedest to answer the comments as they pop up, but sometimes it takes a little while. Sorry, guys, but I am trying. If at any point tonight you love what's happening, then I absolutely invite you to leave me a smiley thumb. If at any point tonight, excuse me, you really hate what's going on, that's okay. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in supporting the channel, making me a happy camper, and keeping the lights on around here, then I invite you to investigate the join button, wherever the heck it is now. Click on the button, you will see that there are two levels, two tiers of membership, and which each tier gets you, what each tier gets you for your hard-earned money. So, what's been going on lately in the world of bushcraft and YouTube and stuff like that? Turns out Quebec is this is a more of interest to Canadians or Quebecers, or actually anyone who comes here to go camping or hiking or paddling, is that Quebec is still the only province in Canada without a helicopter ambulance service. And this is like a year after the CAQ government allocated $175 million to set one up. And this is kind of angry making because the previous Liberal government set up a pilot project in 2018. But then they lost the next election and the CAQ scrapped it. So the thing is, people are literally dying because of this. It's not only for search and rescue or anything like that. In fact, what it's more used for in other provinces is someone is at a tiny hospital in, I don't know, Kuujjuaq or wherever, some tiny town, and they need to get to a major urban center now. Like now. That's what it's for, and people have died over the years because we keep putting them in ambulances and driving them 5 hours to Montreal, driving them 4 hours to Quebec City, instead of dumping them into a helicopter and getting them to help. So I don't know what's going on. The money is supposed to be there. This thing is supposed to be operating. But if I go any further down this line of discourse, it will be political. So going to move right along to the second item. There's a group of kayakers who are in a whole load of legal hot water right now. They've been charged with dozens of offenses, from possession of a firearm in a national park to unlawfully entering a restricted area in a park, to disturbing wildlife in a park. There's 4 of these guys, and they're each facing 45 charges. This is related to an excursion they took, I believe, last year. Look, just goes to show that do your research before hitting a trip. It's really important. You know, you got a 10-day canoe thing coming up. You want to kayak from the St. Lawrence to, James Bay, whatever. Make sure you know where you're going, because the fact is, for most of us, if you're hitting the high north, you're probably packing a shotgun for safety, and you can't just take it everywhere. and you can't just go anywhere if you're within the confines of a national park. There are areas where there are endangered species you can't bug. There's nesting places you can't bug, and it seems that these people may not have done the required research. So I'm watching what's going on. They're facing charges in Nunavut, and I would personally rather this turned into a learning experience than, you know, a criminal record. But anyway, third, Brazil. They've created a mosquito factory, and they aim to release like billions of mosquitoes a year. According to, there's an article in Nature, which is behind a paywall. So there's another article in the CBC. So why are they releasing millions of mosquitoes every week? Well, these mosquitoes, the mosquitoes they're creating in this factory have been infected with, let me get the name of it, Wolbachia, okay, which is a virus that is in a lot of insects already. And they've infected the specific strain of mosquito that is responsible across the hotter sections of the globe for spreading things like dengue fever, Zika, stuff like this. And what Wolbachia does is it blocks their ability to transmit these diseases. It also lowers their lifespan a little bit. And the interesting thing is, if a male mosquito mates with a female, the babies survive, and they've all got Wolbachia. If a female uninfected, no, if an unwolbachiated male mates with a wolbachiated female, the offspring survive, and they've all got Wolbachia. If I don't quite remember how this goes, and I don't have it in front of me, but the offspring that survive always have Wolbachia, and the offspring that don't have Wolbachia die. So the idea is that this is going to propagate in the wild. I mean, I saw Jurassic Park. You saw Jurassic Park, but let's ignore that right now. We're dealing with dengue here. Dengue fever. The idea is that over time, all of these mosquitoes will have this Wolbachia, which will block the transmission of these diseases. I have elected to be optimistic about this because it's not a novel virus that they're using. It's something that's already there in some populations. They're just helping it on. So that's the news. Links for all these stories are in the show notes below, he said, hoping that he had remembered to do that. That'll be funny, won't it? Yes. So let's move on. Before I go to the very short reading and the discussion, I just want to see who's kicking back with us here this week. How many peeps? We got 17 hardcore peeps. So let's, oh my snap. Okay. Well, Peanut Trucker, channel hero Peanut Trucker, was in early, 77 minutes early, in fact. Hi, Chris. Jim was in pretty damn early too. Not quite as early as Chris, but how's it going, Jim? I hope you're staying safe tonight. Destiny finds that Peanut Trucker is pretty funny, as do I. Country Boy popped in at also early, a 8:12. I'll be here moderating, but probably not participating much. Making a belt that has about 6 hours of stitching involved. I'll see how sore my hands and eyes get. Fair enough. I want to see pictures of that belt when you're done, buddy. Because Destiny says what I feel, and I bet it'll be beautiful. I think it will be. Country Boy says, I never presume, but hopefully it turns out. Not sure on the final product yet. We'll see after the border is stitched. I would love to get further into leather making. I feel like such a dilettante because I just don't have time to make a real go of it. Canadian in the house. Not sure how long my eyes will stay open. Got to be at the airport at 4. Wow. Feel no need to hang out, dude, at all. You can watch this on the replay. You can just kick back with us next week or something. I mean, 4 a.m. is going to come pretty damn fast. We got David Evans, channel hero and channel moderator in the chat tonight. Popping in also early. Wow, you guys are a bunch of keeners, eh? There's Christy, also a channel hero, saying hi and happy Tuesday to everyone. Let me just see. I mean, it's just a lot of people saying hi to each other for now. I'm just saying, making sure that I've hit every name who's popping back with us here. I think I caught everyone. Oh, Canadians flying to Tennessee in the morning to visit a factory. Maybe a reason to bring home Tennessee whiskey. Yep. Destiny says, I hear the drums, just NATO in the distance. Almost. You were a little early. It's like, this is all happening before I was even on. There's Al. I guess he's Al's a channel hero, as you can tell by the icon. I'm guessing he's here just after supper. Christy says, Jess and his people, it sounds like a new band name. I love it. There's Mark Davidson. How's it going? How are you doing tonight? Oh, okay. Still burping up the food from the cruise. Yikes. That's staying power. Just seeing, making sure that I'm not missing anyone here. There's Lipstick Lodge. How's it going, Linda? So Chris tonight is in Iowa, headed back to Sacramento. Hey, there we go. Little fish in the kitchen. How you doing tonight? Did you make anything fabulous for supper and or dessert? Okay, I'd tell you something, and because I think Marcel and I we understand each other. I have now tried twice in a row to make broccoli chips. You take a baking sheet, for land's sakes, put down some parchment paper, and you sprinkle cheese, and you parboil your broccoli, put it on, then smash it down. Now, here's the thing. I've been using shredded cheddar because I don't have any I don't have the stringed shredded Parmesan. I only have the powdery stuff. I mean, not the Kraft. I mean, come on. I have standards, but it is the the ground instead of the shredded. But I don't know, maybe I'm not crunching my my broccoli thin enough, but I'm burning the cheese and the broccoli still isn't crisping. So maybe I got to try it with covering the bottom with the Parmesan. Anyways, it's an issue. It's an issue, okay? Hi, with Mike in the house. How's it going? How are you doing tonight? How are things down in Florida? So, I wonder if Marcel, have you tried to make those broccoli chips? It's something that I came across on TikTok. I mean, most of my TikTok is like potato recipes and stuff like that. But man, I really want to make it work because it sounds so delish. Everyone's just saying hi. There's Susie Q. January's going so fast. Yeah, man, January's disappearing behind me. Let me tell you, it's crazy. It's driving me nuts, actually. Grace in the house. How's it going, Grace? Nice to see you. Every night with Grace's name popping up in the side chat is a good night. Shawnee is listening as she works. That's fine by me. How are you doing, Shawnee? How is work treating you tonight? I'm just saying, did I catch everyone? Man on the street doesn't love the readings, unless he's saying the same thing as Christy, that it sucks that Shawnee has to work. And that's what I have chosen to think that Al is saying, because he's a good guy. He's a giving guy, good-hearted. He wouldn't complain about my little readings, especially since I'm reading fiction tonight. Where are we? Canadian, we're not going to be political. But that's kind of all I'm going to say about that, because there's Russell from Raspberry Rouse. Rouse? What? There's a Russell from Raspberry Rock. Saying hi, saying bonjour. Begin. Yes, I have begun. Okay, everyone's up. There we go. Ian the Web Lord. No helicopter. Yeah, it's we need to have it. I mean, it's like literally people are dying because of this. It's ridiculous. David Evans says the kayakers are up a creek without a paddle. Yeah, I always hope for the best, but they're each facing down 45 charges. Yikes. You know. Hike with Mike has the helicopter insurance. It's really cheap, but going out alone in the wilderness, it comes in handy. Or if you are in an accident and need to be airlifted, it really is a good thing along the woods. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. A mosquito factory. And Peanut Trucker is reminding everyone to hit the thumbs up because the hammer is here and watching. Let me just see who we got. Okay, I have to reload the YouTube page, of course. We have 15 thumbs up, and it's not telling me how many people are watching. What the hell, Holmes? What's up with that? Why does YouTube keep messing with the information we get? 18 people watching, 15 thumbs up. Oh, you guys are okay. I do not know who we're talking about here. Al, are we talking about the ambulances or the mosquito factory? What's the beer already? I'm having the chippy again. I've had this with you guys before. Yeah, I'm struggling here, Al, but yeah. David is reminding everyone to hit the thumbs up so he doesn't hit your thumb with a hammer. Like every animal, it's a purpose of mosquitoes diet off the bat, and dragonfly and other animals would decline. It's all part of the web of life. Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing about this project is instead of spraying for mosquitoes, they're doing something that will not change the mosquito population noticeably, but they're using an existing condition in mosquitoes to block the transmission of certain diseases. I mean, I'm sure that there's a dystopian sci-fi book in there somewhere, but I mean, they've been using this project in certain areas for a while now, and they've seen like a 75 to 90% reduction in dengue fever in parts of Africa and further east. So, yeah, Mark Jansen, this is how the zombie virus gets spread, like the Z virus or whatever it's called from what's it called? Umbrella Corps there. Crumbs, what's it called? The movie based on the video game. Not Silent Hill. That one was not good. Anyways, whatever. Well, good to know that Canadian has to go pee like a 9-pecker dragon. He'll be back soon. Oh, shit. I forgot that the chippy tends to overflow. Done forgot about that. Save the keyboard. Why does it do this? I have now opened the chippy with you peeps 4 times in the past several years. And every time it has done this. Stupid beer. There we go. Nice and clean. They just need to breed dragonflies that will kill mosquitoes for pleasure. Fair enough. A few more dragonflies, a whole lot fewer mosquitoes, right? Mark David wants to see the dragon, of which Canadian speaks. Don't. Nope. Um, just taking a look. Okay, I'm gonna do the reading because I want to talk about it. So this is from Stephen Baxter's Manifold Space. Main character in this book. Well, there are several who could claim that role, but really the main character is Reed Malenfant, or I guess Malenfant because he's American. Malenfant. He's this old dude. He's one of, if not the last of the NASA astronauts. Okay, we're talking about a future where, like, Japan is on the moon. The U.S. government is like a shell. The world is mostly run by corporations, and there are aliens somewhere blowing up planets, essentially crunching planets up to use as resources. And he wants to get out there and take a look and see. A year before the Bruno's arrival, that's a spaceship, after the Astronomical Society meeting, Malenfant had returned to the Johnson Space Center for the first time in 2 decades. The campus looked pretty much unchanged. The same blocky black and white buildings with those big nursery-style numbers on their sides, scattered over square kilometers of grassy plain here at the southeast suburban edge of Houston, all contained by a mesh fence from NASA Road 1 that wasn't even called the NASA Road anymore. In the surrounding streets, there were still run-down strip malls and fast food places and 7-Elevens. But inside the campus itself, there was no sign of the tourists who used to ride between the buildings in their long tram trains. And though there were plenty of historic marker plaques, nobody was making history here anymore. The cherry trees were still there, though, and the green grass still seemed to glow. He wasn't here to sightsee. He had come to meet Sally Brind, who ran a NASA department called the Solar System Exploration Division. He made his way to Building 31. Inside, the air conditioning was ferocious, a hell of a contrast to the flat, moist Houston heat outside. Malenfant welcomed the plummeting temperature. It was like old times. Reed Malenfant had loomed over Sally Brind. He was leaning on her desk, resting his weight on big, bony knuckles. He was around twice Brind's age, and he was a legend out of the past. And to her, he was intimidating as hell. "We've got to get out to the solar focus," he began. "Hello, good morning, nice to meet you. Thanks for giving me your time," she said dryly. He backed off a little and stood up straight. "I'm sorry," he said. "Don't tell me. At your time of life, you don't have time to waste." "No, I'm just a rude asshole. Always was. Mind if I sit down?" "Tell me about the solar focus," she said. The reason why I want to talk about this with you guys is because I've said a lot that I feel like I'm an explorer who was born too late for the age of exploration. And so the way I deal with that is by, like, I read exploration books all the time, mostly like, so and so, goes north kind of thing. But like, I've read about the East India Company and all that stuff as well. And it seems that what Baxter sort of tapped into with Malenfant, or Malenfant, or however the hell you would say that below the 49th parallel. No, let me hide that. There's a real bloody mindedness that seems to be maybe not universal in explorers throughout history, but pretty damn close. How many famous explorers, went north at this time of year, despite the advice they got from people who knew better, kind of thing. And look, some of them came a cropper for it, right? Some of them just never came home. But how many of them forced their way through the wilderness here where blah and blah, like two warring factions are staring at each other across a river, and this guy with his train of English redcoats just sort of marched right through, negotiated with this side, negotiated with that side, because by Jove, I'm getting to that mountain. And like I look at modern day explorers. I mean, it's not the same, right? Modern day explorers are guys like the Baird brothers and what's his name, Mario. He's a Canadian dude. Well, he's actually originally from Africa somewhere, but um, like he walked across Africa. He's walked across, I think, Iceland. He's done all these kinds of things, and like his approach is much more sort of friendly, much more um, following what the locals will sort of tell him, but he's still doing the thing no matter what. And the Baird brothers are, they're out there in canoes going through the wilderness, and they're not hiring native guides and then ignoring them or any of that stuff. They're just, I mean, we no longer live in that kind of reality, right? But I think the single-mindedness is still almost universal. I don't know if any of you guys, I've already drunk this beer with you guys, so I'm not doing tasting notes. How many of you guys watched the Ray Mears series where he was in Canada? I think it was called Northern Wilderness, and he sort of followed, in the footsteps of some of the British explorers who really opened up the North. And it seems that like there's always one guy who's like, I'm British, of course I'm going to succeed, and he's got like a wagon train or a train of burros or something with crates of stuff, and it's just this is the way we do it. And then after he fails, there's always someone else who comes along, and it's like cut from the same cloth but the opposite side of the bolt, right? So he's actually paying attention to what the Inuit say, and he's he's taking a much more accepting approach to the weather and the people who are indigenous to the land and stuff, but he's still, I'm going. I find that fascinating because I'm someone who gets stopped by a lot of things. I don't have that single-minded focus to just, what, I'm going. And so I wonder, like, I'm always a little mystified by that kind of mindset, And I mean, it takes a certain amount of that mindset to change your life and go and build an off-grid cabin. I mean, it takes the will, a certain amount of bloody-mindedness to be like, I'm seeing this through, and I'm looking at, Sean in Alaska. It's taking him a while to build his cabin, but he's building the damn cabin. He's making it work. He's making it fit. Russell built the damn cabin. You get the help you require when you need it, and you do some work on your own when you don't have help, and you build yourself a cabin. And there's a couple of you here who have tiny homes that you've either hired someone to build or you've built yourself. It takes a mindset to move the hell out of the urban center. Well, it also takes maybe not having a family hanging onto your arms, right? But like I'm interested in the facets of that kind of way of being, because I see someone like Dick Prenneke building his log cabin, or Sean James building his cabin, definitely standing on Dick Prenneke's shoulders, but out there building a damn cabin. And some of you guys here, I see a link not a direct one, but I see a bit of a link there between that kind of thing and guys like, oh, Mario Rigby is his name. Guys like that who are, I am exploring. My job is explorer. I am going to paddle from, the bottom of Argentina up to the tip of Newfoundland. It's always the kind of thing that most people wouldn't even consider doing. Let me just see. Oh, there's Carol. How's it going? Carol is a channel hero. You should just read old Playboys. They always had great articles. I'm sure you've memorized some of those articles. My son made a coconut cake yesterday and passed it touch. Chickpeas are they're a sleeper hit, man. They're a superfood. We don't tend to think of it that way. Yeah, 45 each. Any jail time with those 45 charges or just fines? I don't know. Possession of a firearm will probably lose you your boomsticks and probably your license, but I don't know if that's jail time. I think it might just be a lot of really big fines, but I don't know what all 45 of the charges are yet, because I just read a news piece, so I think I have no idea. The area had to fundraise for a medical ambulance. Really? I don't think they were trying to break the law. I just think that they figured, let's go into the wilderness. I mean, it's got to be all ground land kind of thing. Thank you. Yes, it was Resident Evil I was thinking of. Yes, thank you. David says that dragonflies are summertime heroes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Russell loves the dragonflies that appear around his place. Absolutely. What did Canadian say? What's this? Oh. I guess that's the 9-pecker dragon. We need a glowing lantern when you do a reading. Okay, I'll when the weather gets warmer, I'll do the readings outside with like all my lanterns around me. I think Al is just showing his appreciation by zipping around the room. Spacecraft, bushcraft. Yeah, that's true. It's already past Al's bedtime. Yeah. So if Al does go to sleep early, I'm going to have this whiskey tonight. This is the Edgedour Distiller's Edition 10-year. Why am I having this? Because I don't like it. So this is the context in which I will get through that bottle. It means I will be sticking with 1 dram. No temptation to drink more. Now, if Al stays up until 10, we'll do the blue. I can read that, Al. Yeah, the T virus. That's it. Yeah. Hold on a second. Destiny watched the Ramirez Canada. Yeah, it was beautiful. I watch it. I've said before that I rewatch Ramirez a lot. Like whenever life gets a little too much, I read sci-fi and watch Ramirez because he really is like comfort food, like visual comfort food in a lot of ways. Oh, that's going to be an issue. It's okay. Just noticed my phone is at 4%. So if anyone sends me a message like, "You're silenced," I'm not going to get it. I won't. Yeah, Ammons, of course. Yeah, yeah. And these were guys who had some trips under their belt, so and, they'd had a couple of bumps and scrapes, right? Um, hold on a second, David. I don't doubt that he built it all himself because I mean he comes, he used to be a contractor, right? I have no. I've said before, like the reason I started watching him is because I saw in his hands that he knows the tools intimately, just the way he holds a tape measure. It's like I recognize that from when I used to work in construction. Um, I think he's probably not living at the cabin as much as it sometimes looks like, or at least I don't know. I haven't been watching him lately because he's sort of starting to get a little tinfoil hatty. So but I mean, a couple of years ago, it looks. He never really said anything about it, so I don't really want to be accusatory about it. But like, if you just watch the channel, you get this feeling that he's living there full time, and I kind of question that. But I don't doubt that he's built. I mean, maybe he has had some help. Um, I would say it's not. If I found out that he has had help, I would not disbelieve it. But I do know that he really knows his way around tools, and I always want to believe the best of everyone. So I want to remain impressed by his process, by his successes. Hold on. Destiny says, meanwhile, Shackleton was forced to turn back. By the way, yeah, he was hindered by several things. One was the British mindset of the day. Absolutely, Royal Navy, charges through and rules. Second, Amundsen had one job: get to the South Pole and back alive. Shackleton was bankrolled by people who had interests. So part of that was scientific. He had like these vehicles that he was supposed to test, and they fell through the ice. He had all this science that he had to be doing, and that slowed him down. And I mean, look, at the end of the day, he died, right? He didn't survive. Um, Amundsen left him supplies, but he didn't leave him fuel for their lanterns or their stoves. And later, he questioned himself about that, like, why didn't I leave fuel? But at the end of the day, like, he left a letter for Shackleton. Hi, I was here. Here are some supplies. See you next time. See you later, kind of thing. But like Shackleton, he was shackled by how the British did things back then. You know, big plotting expeditions instead of the way Amundsen did them, which is like get on the skis and go. Single-minded. Wait, where was that? Yeah. Interestingly, through music, I know someone who is a descendant of Shackleton out in Alberta. Wait. Destiny, that mindset is blowing for this generation. It would take me several lifetimes to do what was done in a few years. Absolutely. Yeah. And I sit here endlessly frustrated at my lack of progress in certain areas, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like I don't want to ignore my family. Do you know what I'm saying? Like life is just fuller right now. And for some people to really, really make it rock, they have to make certain trade-offs, right? Man, if anything, like here in the US, and it is, they're being charged with things like peeing in protected waters, farting in a. definitely there was they definitely blundered into a reserve for an endangered species of, I don't remember what it was though. You know, Raspberry Rock, bringing the information, the important information for sure. He's working on 2 homes and spending as much time at the other one. Um, yeah, I didn't see that, but 2 homes. Was this during, yeah, was this during his um that podcast thing that he's got going, or was it in one of his videos? Yeah, Christy thinks he did all for sure. Wait, Christy, you don't know who Ray Mears is? Ray Mears is a man's a legend. Hold on. Let me go to YouTube. Nope, not studio. I don't need to go to studio. YouTube.com. Let's see, what shall we show? I'm gonna link to something. Okay, so Northern Wilderness, I believe, is 5 episodes. Okay. And I'm gonna need you to watch them all, and then we're gonna discuss at some point. We can discuss like 1 episode a week if you want. I don't think I'll make this the subject of the live streams. I think I'll just bug you, but um, paste. Let me just put the note to right click and blah 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 first. Did that post? Yeah. Ugh, except I forgot to hit the space. But anyways, no, I don't want to poop on Sean James either, because I mean I find him um inspiring in a great many ways. Like that's the kind that's the kind of off grid cabin I want. Right, I want it to be a log cabin. Um, he's so good with tools. You know, he's building a really cool space out there in the woods. You know, I'm not gonna crap on him at all. I'm not watching because he's sort of getting a little, you know, libertarian-y or preppery, doomsday preppery. But I mean, I'm not gonna detract from his cabin building and the other elements of his channel for sure. Oh yeah, man, Destiny, you're absolutely right. The Sweden episodes, another series I watch, and the one where he's making that birch bark canoe with what was his name? I think he was Anishinaabe. Oh, I wanted to. There was another news item that I wanted to put into this, but I kind of felt awkward about it because it's science fiction rather than bushcraft. But the University of Manitoba is involved in a project to dub the original Star Wars movie in Anishinaabe. So like they're in the middle of they're hiring writers and actors and stuff. And I have got to hear that film in Anishinaabe. So I'm watching that very closely. Anishinaabe is like Cree. And that's another word for it. I'm simplifying, but anyway. Howdy, hello. Hi, Jim. How's it going? Destiny, maybe we're talking about a different trip then. Hold on. Let me double check. Oh no, I misspelled his name. Oh, he died in the Falkland Islands dependencies. Okay. Okay, yeah, he died of a heart attack on another trip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah, okay. That or sorry. I'm thinking of another trip. But yeah, I was mixing up two trips, but you're absolutely right. Um, but yeah, his trips were always, well, not always. The one I'm thinking of was definitely hampered by all kinds of stuff. Well, I think it is, Christy. I mean, Ray Mears is a big, big name for bushcrafters, but not necessarily outside that world. So it's not unreasonable. It's just I manage living my life, man. Next week's episode is for Destiny. Men called Ray. I love it. Yeah. Um, yeah, he's had a lot of series. Like he's been doing the TV stuff for like 40 years. He started with like a little weekly thing on the BBC when he was way, way younger. Um, he's done like a series on Aboriginal Britain, like the skills that fed the people on that island like 10,000, 30,000, 10,000 years ago to like prehistoric. He did a whole series in Sweden, which I loved. In fact, Lars Felt is in an episode of that one. Um, he did a series on Canada. He's done a series on like the Australian outback. In fact, that series is where I learned the terminology I had been looking for the importance of fire, a campfire, even on a hot day at a campsite. Or I always say that, I want a fire because it gives my campsite a sense of space. I think that came from the Ray Mears Australian outback stuff. He's done South Africa. He's been to Africa a couple of times. Um, he did one series all about sort of um, Aboriginal food. So they went around. He went around with Ray Goodwin. No, not Ray Goodwin. Who was he with? Like an ethno food expert. I should have looked this up, but I didn't know we were going to talk about Ray Mears tonight. And they sampled all these like traditional foods, by which I mean, picking grubs out of a plant here, eating a ground tuber there, kind of thing. Getting limpets and other sort of mollusks and cooking them up on a fire next, at a beach, like all kinds of so adventurous. So anyway, Grace Myers is prepper-ish. Yeah. Um, David says it takes some cojones to live in a cabin in the absolutely. I absolutely believe that. And I'm a sucker for that stuff, man. I'm a sucker for Russell's channel. I'm a sucker for, Sean James's cabin work. I was an absolute sucker for Dick Prenicky, It's because I dream of doing that, I absolutely do. Marcel's back. How's it going? Tonight I made pulled chicken, Marcel, on brioche buns. Let me take another little sip. Oh, my land, it's 21:53. Has Al disappeared on us? Like, should I be pouring the Adra Dower? Or is Al still here and I'm going to pour the blue? Hey, is that the blue or the King? Oh no, the King James, King George, King. Yeah, man. Okay. Sorry, guys, my brain is not working. In January, I transitioned to a different position at my job. I just realized something. Let's not touch it. Let's not touch it. I went to sort of push the camera up a little bit, but the monopod it's on, it doesn't seem like it's connected all that solidly to the desk. So I'll fix it after we're done here. Okay. Yes, I did. I used a slow cooker. Well, okay, I kind of cheated it. Okay, because um, last night I was rocketing home and I did not have time to make anything. So I bought like a rotisserie chicken and I failed at making my broccoli chips again. But the missus got home super late, so she didn't eat, and Cody just ate like a drumstick. So I was working from home today, and I figured I know what to do. So I saved a leg and the two wings because Cody loves a leg and her mom loves the wings. And everything else I just put in the slow cooker with some Diana sauce, like maple garlic and like some smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, because I'm out of fresh garlic right now, embarrassingly. A little apple cider vinegar, water for liquid, and just let it go for like 6 hours on low because it was already cooked, but I needed it to heat all the way through. And so I made those little sandwiches for supper and with a salad. It's delish. It's great. It's amazing. Al, what are you drinking tonight? I'm really close to the camera. Oh, sorry, hold on. I can fix that. There we go. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Was I too close? Was it like awkward? Jesse's like this close. Hi, friends. Well, that's the thing. And like I need to be bottoming out my sodium intake, so I just take the damn skin off. I always have anyway. But yeah. Oh, Man on the Street's having bloodies tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna have the Edgewood hour because if you're not having the blue, then I like to have the blue or the king when we're having blue together. So if you're having bloodies, I'm gonna have this because it's garbage. It's not garbage. I just don't like it. Some people really like it. It's a very unique whiskey, and so it's going into it. I knew that you have to get used to it, but it has left me completely meh. You know what I'm saying? Meh. Yes, very awkward. Okay, yeah. So like, maybe I should just back in. Um, no, I'm not drinking the King unless you're drinking King, dude, because I'm never gonna get another bottle of that. So I'm having the smallest little drams I can, drinking it as slowly as I can. Let me just finish off the beer. Oh man, I'm late on the whiskey. It's okay. I'm not sure if Russell and I are doing cabins tonight. I think we might, but I don't know if he actually set it up. Has anyone else noticed that our grandparents could afford a house and a cabin and a car on one salary? I really can't go down this road. Never mind. Okay, so Russell's not set up for cabins, so forget about it. We'll just do the 10 p.m. free for all then. Oh, there we go. There's Tim building a storage shelf in the garage and listening. Nice. So I I'm I have mentioned before that I live in a world of mess, and it drives um, the madame crazy, and it drives me crazy too. It's just whenever today I'm going downstairs and I shall clean, and then I see the enormity of it, and I just get frozen. Um, One thing I thought I would do is there's a rat's nest of cables under this desk because, two computers, two monitors, camera, sound, and everything. So I bought like a stupidly expensive um, wire or channeling organizing thing to mount to the bottom of my desk. And when I ordered it, I paid for it through PayPal. I had just played a gig, so I had a little bit of money. But unfortunately, the last thing I had bought through PayPal had been a bottle of whiskey that I had sent to my fiddler's place in Calgary. So I got a text out from him, a picture of that inside his front door, and said, "This is yours, isn't it?" So I used some language. I swore in both official languages and said, "Yes, okay, take it to the post office and I'll pay for it." So $65 of shipping later, it's here. I just have to have time to. I'm gonna take all this down. I'm gonna put that in, and I'm gonna reorganize everything because it's driving me crazy under this desk. And I kind of feel that it's one of those things that I keep looking at and it keeps bugging me. And if I can just sort of get that started, then I'll have the chutzpah to, you know, you guys know. Excuse me. Why do I do things like that though, man? Like I'm always funking it up somehow. Hey, my last live stream got claimed, not claimed. It got demonetized for something. It got demonetized for something that made it non-advertiser friendly. I mean, I think I swore twice, but it was way after the 8-second um, cutoff. So I don't know what the hell happened. Like, I've been trying to figure out what did we do that week? And like, was this Russell's fault? Or like, was I like, I don't know. Was I talking about something? Was I talking about, anything happening in the world that YouTube demonetizes immediately? He said, trying desperately not to use certain words. Like, what the hell did I do last week that got my ass demonetized? Here's the thing. Having a video demonetized or having the live stream demonetized isn't going to affect my ability to pay the bills, right? Because I'm not making that kind of money off of this yet. Um, but I want to know what I did, right? So that I can know going forward. That's why stay away from that. Excuse me. But Country Boy, I don't even like, right. Last week Russell wasn't on, right? Um Wait, Christy says, did you say post office? Is that when you'll send my stuff? I don't remember what it was. I didn't send it? I thought I sent it like 3 weeks ago. So you don't have it. Is it in the car? Uh I gotta move on, but I'm really weirded out right now. This is probably boring for everyone else, but let me figure out what happened there. Because I'm afraid of it just being sort of out there in the wilds somewhere. got demonetized because you were on? No, that wasn't Russell. Should I add you or will you add yourself? I guess that's the so Russell wasn't on last week. Okay, yeah. So I don't know.
Dude, you can look in YouTube Studio and figure out why.
I did. Oh, except no, I was looking in YouTube Studio on my phone. So maybe I should look through the desktop.
Yeah, it should be there. Whether it's copyright protection or something, it'll say.
It didn't seem like Hey, start again. It didn't seem like copyright protection. It seemed like I had something had been said or done or whatever. I'm just clicking on YouTube.
My memory's worse than yours, but you must have showed something that
Maybe I
had
should
music in it or something.
Maybe I'm looking for.
Oh, ad time. You gotta set an alarm so that you can warn people, hey, an ad's coming in 30 seconds, so it's time for a pee break.
Oh, yeah, I do need to do that. I don't have the notice anymore about the demonetization.
Oh,
That's
so
weird.
It's not demonetized anymore?
No, I'm just taking a look right now. It was the 16th of January. It says limited.
Okay, last Tuesday.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll click on it. No. Yeah, it is. I'm not going to bore people by trying to figure this out now, but
okay, we can look at it.
Yeah. Ad time. Okay. Shawnee, yes, that's why I was kind of weirded out. Now, granted, I said I was looking on my phone instead of desktop, but I got demonetized when I shared some footage of my band playing once because it was copyrighted, and they gave me the timestamp. So I was like, okay, and I cut that out. But this time they didn't even give me that. It was just, you are demonetized. Okay, why? It said something about ad suitability.
Could have been swearing, but as you said, you don't cuss a lot, so.
No, but I may have cussed. But here's the thing: you're supposed to be okay if it's after the first 8 seconds, right?
Yeah, as long as there's not. Well, and I think it's the first 15 seconds, but as long as you're not like swearing through it the rest of the live stream, like you'd have to swear a lot to after that. But you might have hit on a topic as well, like
yeah. That's why I'm trying not to use any certain words. Like I don't know if maybe did I touch on any large violent events in Europe or anything,
or talk about the C virus, which
maybe
is stupid.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna keep me up. But
Yep.
Those are not your usual earpieces.
No, weirdly enough, I took my wireless earbuds. I meant to take them on the cruise with me, and somewhere between here and the condo and the cruise, I lost them, and which is just absolutely bizarre. But I ordered a new pair.
You know what's hilarious about that? I lost my AirPods as well. A couple of weeks ago. No idea where they are. None. And because they've been lost. They've been lost long enough now that the batteries are dead. I can no longer just use the Find My to find them.
Oh.
So
I keep looking around like, but that doesn't help.
Yeah. I mean, in my case, it was a $280 loss, right? Which really bugs me. Or something.
Yeah. Holy shit! Well, there's Apple iPods.
Yeah. They're the AirPod Pros, because the normal ones I can't use because they don't have a cushion, and so they don't stick in my ears.
Mine were $40, I think.
I use them to listen to my videos while I'm editing, so I want them to be fairly good. Although, you know what's funny is there's a whole school of thought, like guys I know who work in like recording and everything. A lot of them have a specific studio monitor, the name of which escapes me right now. I think they're Yamahas, so like totally classic, that are famous for sounding shifty, he said, suddenly catching himself. The theory being that if your music sounds good on them, they'll sound good on everything. So maybe I should find those. Of course, I mean, they do sound crappy, but because of that, they've become very desired. So they're expensive as hell.
Okay, that's so ass backwards.
I mean, they're studio monitors, right? You're not gonna have them in the living room to play your music through. But anyway, just give me a second. What's the job you want in the bushcraft world? Are you asking me, Shawnee? For me, I would love this to be my job. I would love to, because then I would be able to do, take the camping trips and stuff that I want to do. Like as soon as I can say, well, this is kind of how I'm helping pay the mortgage, then everything changes, right? But the fact is that's not realistic that's not realistic for me today. It will become realistic when my kids are both self-propelled, which will put me at 60. So I just have to live until I'm 60.
You got this.
Yeah. David used an air tag for your luggage. Yeah. I think one of my friends at work, he got the same earphones with a little sort of polymer case, or not polymer, what's it called? Like, the soft plastic. Anyways, a case with like an actual spot for an air tag in it. He says, I'm never losing these. I'm like, I need to do that. If once I get up the money for the headphones, I'm going to put an air tag on them. Yeah. Country boy. That's not why I was talking about that. I mean, thank you, but please, nobody else do that.
$50. Wow.
Wait. Hold on. Wait, I'm going too far ahead. Hold on. Man on the Street says, how's that Black and Fisherman's Friends wrestle?
It was interesting. Oh, by the way, Al doesn't believe that I know what a fisherman's friend is, which is an odd thing to say. But Cherry Fisherman's Friend and Johnny Walker Black, not a bad combination.
Really?
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. I used to use Fisherman's Friends a lot, but like just the normal, whatever, the regular are.
Yeah.
The Cherry are better.
The Cherry's nice.
Yeah, the Cherry are definitely better.
I was actually worried about coughing a lot during your live stream because I can't seem to talk without coughing, but I seem to be doing okay. So
you're still not feeling 100%?
No, I probably don't sound normal either, but
you sound a little sort of sinusy, but
you haven't heard me cough yet tonight. My cough is still really, really bad, and so I'm just taking it easy. I should have a video for Friday, but it's not going to be much of a video.
Yeah. Huh. That's a while you've been ill.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It's a week and a couple of days, actually.
Okay. I guess I have no sense of just how long you were gone versus back, I guess. By the way, because of this, I think the first whiskey sip of the night should be a cheers to Country Boy. Thanks, Country Boy.
Cheers, Scott.
Are you having black?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been. Yep. Splurging a little bit. How is it? Notes?
It's the key of D minor. The saddest of the keys.
Jesus. Bit dreary. Bit dreary.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is dreary, and I think it's because it's 40% alcohol by volume. And I really, really wanted to like this because Edredauer, they're the smallest Highland distillery. Edredauer, they're the smallest of the Highland distilleries.
Just a wee distillery.
It's so wee that it's actually in an old farmhouse. Like, it's not in a big building. It's like in a wee farmhouse. There's like half a dozen people there and 2 stills, kind of thing.
That's like when it gets too hot in the basement, they open the door.
Yeah,
There's
you know what I'm
There's
saying.
no
Yeah.
climate control.
Yeah. No, I have been told that because I bought another Edredauer, the Caledonia. I was like, oh, I don't want to buy this because of this, and I was told, no, that one's better. That one's better. So I haven't opened that one yet. I bought it like 2 years ago, but I haven't had time to review it yet. But apparently, it's a lot better because, like, burn me once, shame on you; burn me twice, shame on me, kind of thing. But yeah, I respect that it's a very unique. So if you want some notes,
D minor.
like there's a molassesy thing there, but like there's none of the big. There is kind of a butterscotch, but it's very light. It's very, maybe it's because it's down at 40%, but it seems a little hollowed out.
Down at 40%.
There's a farmy note there that I like. I like farmy notes, you know, but
he's slumming it at the 40%.
Slumming it at 40%. I own almost nothing that's 40% though.
That can't be true. We surely have rum, vodka, gin. Are you talking about?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, no, I was talking about whiskey, but yeah, you're right. I do have a lot of 40% stuff, but in the whiskey, I aim for above 45.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's a leafy note here. Like, there's a lot of stuff that makes me really want to love this, but I just can't. It's like, it's the echo of a really good whiskey.
I like what David said here. It's kind of like a salad of old smelly socks. There's some nice notes in there, but at the end of the day, it's just a basket of smelly socks.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Al refuses to buy apples. That's okay. I have some Honeycrisp upstairs and a little Red Delicious, but I think the Red Delicious is a garbage apple.
City Girl is an apple girl, unfortunately. Although I did get away with buying her a regular Windows laptop.
I use a Windows laptop for work. And I use my Apple stuff at home. I mean, I don't hate Windows. I feel that Windows has become... There are elements of Windows that I think are demonstrably better than in Mac OS. The way they control sound makes it possible for you to share the sound from your desktop and your microphone. One would think that would be a basic freaking requirement.
I think they all do sound weird. Like, audio should be such a simple thing, but it never is. It never is. It's trying to figure out audio devices, and it's so complicated. Why is it so complicated? And it has been from day one. You need a sound card.
Well, that's the thing. You've never needed a sound card on a Macintosh, but you definitely did. I think it's because computers were designed by engineers. I read this book called The Design of Everyday Things. Okay,
boy,
and I'm very into stuff like that. Like, you should never design something to be used without getting potential users in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Interface, like, have you ever watched a guy building a boomstick stock? Someone who knows what he's doing by hand, carves a bit, holds it up, and then carves a bit more, and then holds it up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the way everything used to be designed and built, right? A guy would like pick up the axe haft, hold it in his hand, and shave a bit more often. And I did this whole presentation at work on 3 Mile Island. Some of you may not be old enough to know what 3 Mile Island was. I am old enough. Like, I was young, but like the week that 3 Mile Island happened, the top of the top 100 was "It's a Tragedy" by the Bee Gees. But the whole thing that happened there, it was ultimately blamed on human error, but it's almost never actually human error, right? What it is, until something big happens, is that there are too many red lights on your control panel, and that when like 8 red lights flash at the same time, you don't necessarily know which one you need to hit first. And it's because a lot of what we deal with was designed by engineers, and engineers need to design stuff, but the user experience is where the logic of the machine can still kill somebody. How did I end up on this really boring subject? What was I talking about?
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of remember that thing in Hawaii a few years ago? Somebody went to do a test a phone alert, and they accidentally clicked the wrong one because they're right next together.
Yeah,
do a test,
absolutely.
do the real thing.
Yes, thank you for using a more up-to-date example. But yeah, it's exactly the same thing. It's like, and like we have a UX department, right? And deliberately, the UX department comes from designers and voice of customer and people like that, to get in on the ground floor of looking at what the UX. I can't tell you guys where I work, but to look at what the interface is looking like from the get-go, and playing with it and saying that button needs to be at the top of the screen, not the bottom, kind of thing. I don't know why I was bringing this up.
It's after 10,
so it doesn't matter.
Well, we were talking about design and how engineers design stuff, and not and users.
Yes. So I think that a lot of the weirdness that we deal with in Windows or on the PC side comes down to the fact that even today, with Windows 11 looking spectacularly Mac-like, it still shows the fact that engineers are designed this thing. And Steve Jobs was a customer experience guy, right? He had an engineer guy with him, but he was a customer experience guy, and he soaked his company in that kind of philosophy. Now, that being said, with I still like to play around with the command line a little bit every now and again, right? So I mean, I can be crowing over the Mac interface, but every now and again, I like to go below the surface, which we've been able to do here for the past 10 years or however long it's been that we've been using Mac OS, because it's essentially a pretty face on OpenBSD. So it sits on a Unix layer now, whereas back in the day, it was kind of embarrassing being a Mac user, because yeah, I know it's not working this week. I know. Shut up a lot, kind of thing. But I mean, at least now the operating system works. Oh, hold on. Peanut Trucker's out. Good night. Oh, he left at like 3 minutes ago. So if you're gone, if rats, I missed him. Yeah, there's definitely that. I mean, I know a lot of engineers.
David, aren't you an engineer?
Well, so he knows. But the fact is, engineers come at their designs from an engineering point of view. So everything's very logical. Everything makes sense from an engineering point of view. But designers come at it from a customer a customer-facing point of view, and very often a customer will always reach for X, even though the engineer is like, "Yeah, but I put it there." You know. Yeah, David is speaking for David's an interesting guy, man. Like you guys who have never seen this guy in person, you're missing out. Because when I went out to see Russell, when I went out to see his unfolding loincloth, I spent a night over at David's place first, and had a long chat with him about what he did for a career back in the day and what I do for a career now and all kinds of stuff. And we get to see one aspect of people on these stupid screens that we're all looking at each other through. But behind the screen, behind that, what you're seeing, there's a whole ass human being there. And I always say that nobody's really as interesting as they think they are. But in a weird sort of way, everyone's actually more interesting than they think they are. It's just not in the way that they necessarily show it deliberately. I always say this, but then when I really look at it, I can poke holes in my philosophy here. Does that mean that the philosophy is completely bunk? Or does that mean I just have to work harder at it? Or do all philosophies have holes in them? I could really go for cheese, speaking of holes.
You could just keep refining your philosophy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can just work on it.
But I feel like I'm making it seem more facile than it is. Like, everyone is bloody fascinating. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's fascinating, but sometimes you have to, like, start asking questions before. Like, how often have I been at a party where someone's sitting there and I say, so, what do you do? And this. I'm like, okay. And, like, I go out of my way to come up with a question to ask,
Yeah.
What's the best part of blah? And then suddenly they open up. And then suddenly... And they always have something really cool going on. Everyone does.
No, that's not true.
Really? No. I have...
Some people are boring as shit. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean... Okay, some people are, but generally speaking, if you come at... Well, it's because I'm thinking of a couple of people that you guys don't know. But, I mean, generally speaking... all it takes is really talking to someone and sort of finding the angle, and they got some stuff to talk to, especially because I would way rather just find questions to ask than start talking.
It goes way back to my philosophy. If you want to be an interesting person, have interests.
Yeah.
And some people have no interests, but especially young people. Like, especially young people who want to meet, guys who want to get girlfriends or girls who want to get guy friends, or you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you want to be interesting, have interests.
Yeah. Absolutely. I like what Grace said, except that I clicked on it and it didn't show up. Wait. I like what Grace said. Kind of like reading the room or knowing your audience. Just because it makes sense to an engineer doesn't mean it will work well for the user. Because I deal with this in a professional way all the time. Like sometimes we have a very small UX department, and so they don't necessarily have the time to stay on top of everyone. And you can always tell when the code slingers just sort of put something, threw a button there and release the damn app. It's like, no, why? And it's because they know. The problem is that these guys know the app inside and out.
You know that with the worst of the worst experience generally I have with stuff like that, what you just said, is when you get software updates. You get a software update to an app and it changes and something's different about it. And you're like,
put it back
perfectly. Like, why did
you put it back? Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna put it in, just make it an option and tell me there's an option now to do it. Don't just change shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm demonetizing you again. Oh.
Damn it, man. Coach Boy says a whole ass person. Another quote. Did I say whole ass person? I probably did, actually. I've said that before. If anyone's keeping track, Christy's had rain for the past 3 days. Good to know.
That is I'm gonna try really hard not to cough during your stream, but that is wonderful, Christy, because like all summer long you get no rain, right? It's
Summer
like,
long.
can you save some of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think she should save some of it in like barrels. Apparently, not all engineers are designers. Yep, I know that. Country Boy says, I'm a half-ass person, so just quote doesn't apply to me. She says they had an inch. Is that an angry inch?
That's a lot of rain. That's so funny how an inch of rain is a lot of rain, but you get an inch of snow is like, God, I had an
Nothing.
inch of snow earlier, and then like I'm happy.
That's because the snow, an inch of snow is all air, right? Hey, I gotta see Manifold, so be hilarious for a minute.
Oh, you were caught up in chat and stuff. Okay, yeah, go.
I was caught up. I've been trying to catch up so I can go. Right back.
No, oh wow, I'm full screen. I've been focusing on not coughing tonight. When I get coughing, it sounds awful. It goes on, and I'm really trying to concentrate on not coughing, which is why I've had a couple of fisherman's friends while I'm doing this. Fisherman's friends and Johnny Walker Black. I was trying so hard. Desi says, "Oh wow, that is a lot." Yeah, I would think so. So, Christy, can you put up water catchment systems in your neighborhood? What's funny is we've been to the islands of St. Vincent and Grenadine, City Girl on a sailing trip, which we would love to do again. And yeah, I see my send going down to almost nothing. Is it coming back up? Anyway, every little house on every island that we visited, they all had these great big black water catchment systems to capture the rain and store it. Can you guys even hear me? Yes, I'm sorry, Christy. I'm playing with Velcro. What a poor time for Jess to walk away while I have terrible internet. Yep, it's really bad. Hopefully you can still hear me. How was the trip back to the cabin after your absence? Oh, David. It was, you'll see it in the next video. Well, you won't see much of it. I plowed a lot, meaning the snow is hitting the undercarriage, but it was okay. I just kept plowing through. If the snow had been like 2 or 3 inches deeper, it would have been a real problem. Excuse me. But it was okay, and we're supposed to get rain tomorrow and the next day, so the trail should be fine for when City Girl's coming in on Friday. And just find herself. Oh, okay. Wow. Really?
Huh. I got cheese. They're multiplying. And I'm losing control. Because the power it's supplying. Electrifying. We're supposed to get freezing rain tomorrow night as well.
Freezing rain?
Yeah. Christy's asking if you're playing with cards.
I was playing with Velcro. Yes, and I put it aside. We don't need water catchment systems here. We have unlimited water. You don't have unlimited water.
Christy has unlimited water? I've been to that state. Where the hell do they have unlimited water?
Yeah, where is it coming from, Christy? Crispy.
Their dreams.
Crispy the crab.
I shall not play with cards.
Oh, I should do my card trick again on the live stream.
You have a card trick?
You saw it once.
Here. Show me the card trick.
I'm not going to show it tonight. I'll show
No,
it on my own live stream.
I do remember you showing a card trick, though. That was a while ago.
Exactly. It could be shown again.
Yeah.
Do.
So next week we'll do card tricks and cabins. I can't do card tricks. All I can do with cards is patience.
I'll show you my card trick, and then you'll have one card trick in your
in my vocabulary. So here's a question, like that I kind of didn't want to bring up before about this book. How many of you guys have a books or like a genre that you go back to just kind of when life gets a little a little too much, because I've got all these sort of science fiction books that I cannot throw away, because when I'm too stressed, this is where I go. Like, I read them when life gets to be too much. Like, that's the escapism I need. And it's always like hard science. It's not like space opera stuff. I'm not reading Star Wars. But I'm wondering how many people have like comfort food books, kind of, I guess.
That's a good question. Like I have a couple of books. One is like comfort food, but I mean, it's an interesting question. Like the main science fiction book that I really love, and I will listen to it over and over again until I'm dead, is Neuromancer.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but it's just a
Solid.
really good book. It's not like escapism for me. It's not like I want to escape into this world. It's just a story about characters going through this stuff. So your go-to books is it really escapism? Like I want to be in this world, or is it just I'm just really
No.
entertained by this?
It's not escapism in that I want to escape to this world. But it's escapism in that I want to disconnect from this world for a while, I guess. I don't know. Maybe escapism is the wrong term, because like I go back to these books when life becomes too stressful, right? When life is not too stressful, I don't tend to go back to them very often, just because I'm living life, right? I'm doing life stuff. But I don't know. Like the one I'm reading right now is this.
Oh, was there a 10:30 commercial? Yeah. Sorry, can you put that up again?
I got to start setting alarms, like you said. The Jesus Institute by Frank Herbert and Bill Ransom.
Well, I've never heard of it.
So Frank Herbert is, he's the guy who wrote Dune, right? And Bill Ransom was a poet. Was.
Yep. That's a well-loved book. Jesus, look at it.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. Like I go back to the same.
I said Jesus. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I go back to the same 40 books time and time again, kind of thing.
40.
Not 40. It's not 40. It's probably more like 20 or 30 at this point. But like I have a section of old sci-fi books, well, not old, but of sci-fi books that I will not get rid of. I mean, I've gotten rid of half my books since moving to this house, but
oh yeah, like I've got the Ringworld series. I'll never get rid of those.
Mm-hmm. Me too. In fact, I've had to tape my Ringworld books back together. Like, there's an argument that can be made for just like buy new copies, but part of it is this book I've had forever. This cover, this broken spine, right? There's familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
There's comfort there because it's been there for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So if I bought a new version, would I read it, every couple of years again? Would I? Because I wouldn't have the history with it anymore.
Well, consider, if you got your hands on the audio book version, would you listen to that?
No, because it doesn't. I mean, I listen to a lot more audiobooks than I'm willing to admit, but it's always stuff I've never read before.
Yeah.
Or the frickin' Silmarillion. Because I have tried to read it 4 times and I've realized it's not going to happen. I'm never going to get through this. So I've been listening to it as I drive to work, and I'm like, oh, this is work. This is like, it's like I'm reading somebody else's Bible. Hold on.
I'll never even try on that one.
I really do think that it's, Destiny noticed that I had my blankie. I'm trying not to play with this because my dry skin makes it really loud, but I was going to say something and I've completely lost it.
Something about Silmarillion or audiobooks? Or?
Oh yeah, I feel that the Silmarillion is the Bible of Middle Earth. I don't know if he would have planned it that way, but that's really what's going on there. It's the Bible of Middle Earth. And I have very little patience for the Bible of this earth. So I'm having trouble getting through the Bible of Middle Earth, you know?
Since I'm not using my wireless earbuds, when I walk away right now, I can't hear what you're saying.
Everybody, talk about Russell now. Apparently, Iris Johansson is your escape reason. She's a crime fiction author. I don't know why, but it takes me away and de-stresses me. Okay, that somebody's actually interfacing with my question. Iris Johansson. Okay. I don't know her at all. I don't read a lot of crime fiction, but that's legit. De-stresses you. You know, we all have something, right? Tim says I'm dyslexic, so I watch Raspberry Rock videos or how-to videos, or I listen to old rock radio broadcasts when DJs had a personality and music was freeform. I read for the most part backwards. Well, I mean, maybe, yeah. Like books can't necessarily be the escape for everyone. As I said before, like sometimes I'm rewatching for the umpteenth time the same Ray Mears video because it does sort of, in some ways, scratch the same itch. Excuse me. David doesn't read books anymore. I prefer to listen to audiobooks. For me, audiobooks is not a preference. It's a way of reading a book while I'm driving to work, and fairly often I'll just listen to some of my favorite podcasts instead. But I do definitely see the value in audiobooks. I like the reading experience, like the paper reading experience. But I don't read a lot. But you know, for easily 20 years now, I haven't read a lot because once I started working in words and reading and writing for my job, when I get home, I don't want to do more reading and writing. You know? Oh, Jim keeps losing his internet. Oh, that sucks. Are you still here? You're still here? Does anyone else have a book or a series or style that they read when, you know, to de-stress?
Sorry, I'm with David on that. I don't read anymore either. Audiobooks.
Jim has a huge backlog of YouTube videos and unread books. Guess which is winning? I shudder to think. I actually also have a large backlog of videos that I keep I just save to watch later. I've got a very large backlog, like embarrassingly large.
I used to do that. Now I just don't watch them.
I like to watch them because, I mean, a lot of them are people who happen to be subscribed to me or whatever, you know. So I always get around to them. It's just sometimes it takes me 2 months to see the damn video. You know?
Sure, fella.
Unless it's something that I can just watch, you know, turn on and not pay attention to, like, say, Raspberry Rock or something.
Like a live stream.
Yeah.
Bushcraft. Let's go, fella.
For the record, I look forward to Bushcraft all Friday at work. So,
really,
yeah,
that's cute.
You're such a brat. Christy likes Patricia Cromwell, but nowadays I watch YouTube. My mom and sister love to read. When I was like a youngin', like when I was a teenager and a child even, I was like a book a week, 2 books a week person, you know. So when I started working in words and stopped reading, it was a big thing for me, you know. And I would really like to get back to reading. I used to really like doing it. Sit there in a comfy chair or, you know, on the couch or in my bed, you know, with a book and a nice drink next to me.
I know that work for you is not what it used to be. Are you finding any desire to do any more reading?
I see that possibly coming, but I have to be more solid in my new position. Like right now, I'm still in because unfortunately I'm working with a brand new technology, so there's a lot of ramp up. So I sort of foresee that coming when the ramp up is over, and I know what I'm doing.
Okay. Curious. Did we say hi to Tim and Christy?
I said hi to both.
Hi, Tim and Christy.
David says, I don't know why, but my YouTube video watching is way down. You know what else is way down? Your YouTube video production. It's okay. I'm not going to say it again. I think the People series of books by the Gears. I don't even know what that is.
No clue. I don't think either of us are. Well, I'll speak for myself. I'm not up on any of the current sci-fi or even fantasy authors.
Yeah, me neither.
No clue.
I'm not.
I'm locked in the. I did look at the top 100 sci-fi books of all time, and I started going through them.
Oh yeah.
Which meant I was looking around for the audiobook versions of them.
Okay.
I didn't read them, but I discovered some interesting ones. Even like Snow Crash, which very interestingly told story. At the first, I didn't like it at all, but I've listened to it now 3 times, and it's grown on me a lot.
I liked Snow Crash.
That guy was doing some serious drugs when he wrote that one.
Found a great site that broadcasts old rock radio shows from the 50s to the 80s. My playlist is getting big listening to all the songs I've not listened to in decades. Wow, that's crazy.
That's interesting. I did listen. One of my favorite radio stations in the Greater Toronto area played a lot of old stuff that was big back in the day, but it never gets played anymore. So there's a lot of nostalgic music that they used to play. Fortunately, they turned country recently, so they're really pissed off, actually.
Yeah. Now, you're not close enough to pick up GTA stations, right?
Not where I am now.
Yeah. No. David says, Pam is a ferocious reader. I don't know how she can sit there for hours and read a book. Man, I wish I could sit there for hours and read a book again. I just, oh, man, cup of tea or other thing and a book, maybe a blanket, because I'm always happiest under a blanket. Oh no. Why you got to ruin everything? Why you got to be hating?
I don't know. I was just filling in the blanks. But yeah, I remember being a kid. We didn't have a lot of books in our house, but we had a book rack, and I just grabbed one of those books and just read it.
We had a crap ton of books. We didn't have a TV for most of my life, but we had a crap ton of books.
That's where I first read The Fox and the Hound, and it was not a story of friendship.
Right.
It was something completely different.
Well, turning them into films can really play with them, right?
Well, the Disney effect, right? We had a book called Blinky is a Lost Cat, and I didn't read it for a long time, but every time I saw the book, I started crying. Blinky is a lost cat.
Damn it, Blinky!
Just
I can make it on my own.
Cover just made me cry, and I put it down. I can't read that. I can't read it.
The Gears are historians that write fiction based on Indigenous people. The Gears. Whoops.
So based on real stuff.
You know who's an author I love for? Oh, geez, where's my?
Hey, homie.
Where's my damned window? Oh, there it is. Is Homie's here? Oh yeah. How's it going, Homie? You buy anything cool lately? He's got some really cool equipment, that guy. I don't see why you can't share the site. When I was in school, in university, I guess what the Americans call college, one of my sound professors, one of the media anyway, we did this entire unit on pirate radio. There's no point in doing pirate radio today, but back then, in like 1998, pirate radio still stood a chance, right? It was all about these people who set up like a pirate broadcast mast or whatever. I love the idea. Loved the idea of it. I was so enamored with this idea. And like, look, at the end of the day, you could kind of get in hot water for it.
They made a movie with Christian Slater.
Yeah. the name of which escapes me.
Me too.
Heathers.
Good
Not
movie,
Heathers.
but not that.
Not the one. Not the one. Talk Hard. Like I remember the what the hell was that movie called?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you've distracted me now. It's going to drive me crazy. But I'm riffing off of what Tim said because he wants to share the URL. But I feel that we've kind of lost something in that anyone can have a podcast now. Right? It's killed pirate radio. And I'm not one of these just like get off my lawn. Everything was better back in the day. But I just loved the poetry of a pirate radio station, like
pulling
the airwaves back from the oligarchies, from the oligopolies more like. But I just loved it. That unit in that class was it was big for me. It made me like I got fired up. I wanted to, I'm gonna put up a mast. I'm gonna start a pirate radio station. I never did because I'm so easily stopped. It's so freaking frustrating.
Now we have YouTube.
We have YouTube. We have podcasts. There's no need for pirate radio.
And just do your thing.
Yeah.
Tuesday nights at 9 p.m.
9 to 11. But like, I do wonder if there are still pirate radio stations out there. Because the thing about YouTube is, unless you're Jim, you can't really watch it in the car. I mean, you can listen to it. Especially, I think if you pay for YouTube Premium, you can listen in the car, right? Like you can just listen to it.
To YouTube?
Yeah. Do I have that wrong?
You can download stuff.
Mark Davidson. Hold on. Let me just sort of. Homie saying, "What's up, guys?" I said, "Do you have any cool stuff? Can you share the site?" Yes, you do. What you got? It's Retro Radio Joe is the channel. Okay. Thank you. Pump up the volume. Had a great soundtrack. Yeah. Does anyone know if you can do lives on Rumble? I have no idea.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Of course. Why are you even asking this question?
So what the heck is this? Pump up the volume. Are we talking about a movie or?
Yeah, that's the film. Pump Up the Volume was the one where it's Christian Slater. Slater had a pirate radio station, a pirate radio show. More like it wasn't really a station; it was more like a show.
I like that.
I love that idea.
That's a good movie. And they were on to him, and then he put the antenna on his car, and he was driving around.
Yeah,
good movie. And that hot chick was in it. A bit of an emo girl, but yeah.
That wasn't yet like another one that he. No. Who was the female lead in that?
In that movie?
Yeah.
I gotta say some forgotten.
Oh well.
Samantha Mathis?
Samantha Mathis? Okay. Homie bought a Rafe Knives F6. Oh, a Luku. Getting my credit. I also put in a knife order with a YouTuber. Which YouTuber? There's a YouTuber who I have dreamt of buying a knife from for 10 years now. It feels like 10 years. And that is Mr. Jack Lore. But he doesn't sell outside the UK anymore because it's just too much trouble. But man, and his knives are expensive. Oh man, dream knife right there. Jack Lore. Olive wood handle. Yellow spacers, maybe orange. With a matching ferro rod.
What are you gonna do with that knife, homie?
He's gonna do stuff.
I shouldn't have questioned.
Don't just go questioning.
I shouldn't have.
No.
Good.
One does not. I'm finding it. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share.
Okay.
Because we gotta share at least once a week, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I've had too much whiskey tonight. Magnicut. There you go. So that looks like what is that? A 5-inch? Wait, what are the specs?
So
6. Ooh.
the
6
handle
inch.
looks almost as long.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of space for your hand on that. Oh, I like that. Is that coyote? No, that's not coyote. Was it?
What kind of
Sand?
What kind of grind on that?
I would call that a spear grind with a secondary bevel. I don't know. Maybe they're going to call that a Scandi. It doesn't look really Scandi to me, though. Specs. Overall length, 11.25 inches, whatever that is in real stuff.
Okay.
Blade length, 6 inches. Cutting edge, 575. So if the blade length is 6 inches... Okay, because we're missing some here. All right.
Oh,
There's a choil.
Straight convex V grind?
It's a convex? That doesn't look convex to me.
Well, it says.
Convex V. Maybe it's a Scandivex. Maybe convex V is Scandivex. Slightly holler. Okay, so the edge type is a convex V. The blade grind is a slightly hollow saber ground. Yeah, that's because it comes up to here. Okay, fine. Finish acid stone. Acid. I meant acid stone wash.
Acid.
Ash. Sheath is black Kydex. That doesn't look like Kydex. That looks like leather to me. What's going on?
It does look like leather. That's not right. Check the drop down on the sheath.
I see it. It's
Okay.
probably, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. There's a brown leather or a Kydex. Okay. Homie, I'm not looking at the screen right now, but I'm looking at the screen, but not the whatever. Did you get the Kydex or the leather?
He got the leather. There's no way he got the Kydex.
Yeah, good man. Yeah, I would get the leather too. Hell yeah. Best use? Why would you say that? Because we needed to add one last line.
So for anybody who's looking at that, like for cooking, is like,
no, can't buy it for cooking. No,
can't cut onions with that. Damn it!
Forget it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
I can't bake a cake with that thing.
No, you can't.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
Hey, if I can't bake a cake with this thing, I'm not freaking buying it.
I gotta make a fire. I gotta, come on.
Yeah, come on, eh?
Son of a. Sonny, don't go through the toll booth, okay?
Yeah. Retro
Sonny?
Radio channel, by the way. I just wanted to point out that David posted the channel.
Fredo, you broke my heart.
So, homie, that looks like a cool knife. It's bigger than I like. I mean, to me, I'm a 4-inch knife blade person. I like 4-inch. I tried desperately to get past the single entendre that you stopped at. But for me, like my comfort zone is a 4-inch knife.
That's what she said.
I have a friend, Mike Morton, who is sometimes on my live streams on my other channel. He counts here because he's been on some of Joe Robinette's videos because they're buddies. He likes a knife that's a 3-inch blade, and I wish I liked a knife that was 3 inches. But I mean, to me, the 4-inch blade is the ideal. It's like the pinnacle of the trade-off versus the benefit, right? Like I can baton most of the stuff that I would want to baton. Oh no. First yawn of the evening, I've broke the seal. Okay, he's gone and he doesn't have his wireless headphones. We can insult him. But he's back. Homie says, good. Sorry about that, guys. Good belt knife, big size, big handle. Yes. Oh, did you bring back what I think you brought back? Is that the number one?
That's a 4-inch blade on that.
Yeah. I love that knife so much.
That's the go-to carry. Although if I had to like go with the bush and actually do bushcraft, I wouldn't take that. I would take the number 4, of course.
Right.
but
Oh, so nice.
but I can't imagine like a 3-inch blade.
Mike has a Saku Honkilati that is a 3-inch blade. It's not a Leku, but the other sort of Finnish blade style, the Sami knife style. That is A, gorgeous, and B, not ever going to be mine because unfortunately, I also have a Saku Honkilati blade. It's the blade I use to make my daughter's knife. And I was thinking I would do one for the other daughter as well, but unfortunately, Saku was taken out in a motorcycle accident this year, so he's gone because it's just been a year like that. But yeah, Mike's is a 3-inch blade, and he really likes that size. He's got a killer axe though, right? So he never batons.
It's okay if he likes a 3-inch blade because he's got a killer axe.
He's got the grinds for his brooks. The Ramir's axe, whatever it's called. So I guess he never really needs to baton, but
I've been using that carving axe here by the wood stove.
Oh, have you? Off-Grid Recon says it looks like a Brothers of Bushcraft knife. Does it? I haven't paid attention to Brothers of Bushcraft in a long time, like in terms of the knives.
It's just really good for making kindling.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a perfect size as a kindling axe, actually.
You wouldn't know, but yeah, absolutely.
You're right. I've never seen that axe.
No, I mean you don't have a wood stove.
I was just moving right past that because I don't like talking about it because I would love one. But you know,
if you have a wood stove, I mean,
yeah,
it would be metal and it would have fire in it, and you could use an axe like this.
I could.
I'll send you a picture.
Oh, good, perfect. Yes, why not? Oh, whoa, homie, only got the Kydex. Oh, because all his knives are in leather, so he's looking for something a little different. Size matters, saith David. Why you got to be hating David?
It's not hating. That's just he's just being
a brat. Off-Grid Recon. Hey, by the way, welcome to the live stream. Enters with my favorite knife is a CK knife and tool bush knife. Love it. CK.
Yeah, what kind of CK?
Excuse me while I look it up. CK Knife. See how I rhyme that?
CK Knife.
Oh, CK knife and tool. Okay, yeah. I have only been at this website once before, but like, this is a custom guy, isn't it?
You're really playing with that towel.
Yeah, sorry. Are these American prices? Am I sharing this yet? I think I might share this.
You're not sharing it yet.
So this is CK. Hold on, I'm going to hide Off-Grid Recon.
Oh, that's a real stubby.
Yeah, some of them are very stubby, but there's some stuff that's like, look at that.
I'm not opposed to the stubby. Oh, it's got the what do you call that? Where the edge is entirely flat all the way to the point.
Flat grind, but like with a secondary bevel. I like this pup with the ferro rod. If that's American pricing, then I'm gasping in disbelief. But I mean, the thing is, the thing is, like,
expensive
custom job. You got to just pay it. You just got to pay it. You know, you have to sort of, because you're not just paying for the knife, you're paying for the years it took him to develop. I mean, because this looks like a cool ass design, right?
Yeah.
465. I'm gonna assume that's American, in which case it's like what, gonna be 525 Canadian.
Expensive.
But look at it. Right? That pin in the middle, the mosaic pin, the mosaic pin. What the hell is mosaic in English? Mosaic?
Mosaic.
The mosaic pin. Oh, I gotta stop doing that. There's money there, right?
What's the notch for in the blade?
That little thing. Some people say it's so that you can just sharpen it right to the edge of the blade, right? Instead of having that weird sort of downward, like, hold on. Do I have one here? Hold on. So hold on, let me hide this so that I can, just totally freaking. No, I sold the wrong. I sold the wrong person. Why did what? Hold on. Okay, so you see,
yeah,
right? Like that can be really awkward for sharpening. So some people put that micro choil in there to ameliorate that. There are a couple of other reasons that I forget because I've been drinking all night. But I like that little notch. I think that's a much better design.
That's fair.
Yeah. So yeah. Who said they were doing the CK?
Off-grid recon.
Yeah, off-grid recon, yeah. But yeah, so off-grid, I like those too. Homie knife he is matching his new knife up with the Rob Evans MK2. I think I barely remember that from a conversation I had with someone and looked it up. So are you going to be carrying both at the same time? Like one as a backup or like as different? Let me just snuggle up here because I look so cute. I'm just kidding. Homie, he's in the UK. Okay. David's gone to bed. Good night. Am I too late to say good night?
David. No, David.
Yeah, he said goodbye 5 minutes ago. I'm too late. Sorry.
David.
Homie says the MK Morris Kahansky tribute knife. It's like 3 inches and an eighth thick Scrandy, right? Because thick Scandi. Yeah, Morris had Moore's. He had a real clear philosophy when it came to knife design, and I respect it. His philosophy flew in the face of what I have come to love and like a high sort of high status knife, like the wood lore and everything, with the Coke bottle handles that are round and everything. Like Morris is like, no, man, you want it to be flat sided like this is, so that no matter what, you just grab your knife and when it's oriented properly. But the MK Morris Kahansky knife, well, Morris is. So is that the knife you? Hold on a second. Let me just take a look here. I'm gonna take a look at these knives.
Take a look. Take a listen. Take a listen.
Take a listen. You see, the CK Knife and Tool site doesn't have a search, unless maybe it's at the bottom. No, it doesn't have a search, and that bugs me because now I'm.
Websites bug me.
Yeah, websites bug me. You fuck website. Okay, so it's not the CK knife because he doesn't have the Morris Kahansky. Ooh, but he offers Desert Ironwood as a handle, and I love Desert Ironwood. Yeah, all of his options are an upcharge. Military, law enforcement, firefighter, decorative pins. Yeah, I want that. Like, I want botulism. But some of the more, YouTuber decorative pins? Hold on, I gotta click on this. Am I sharing? Should I share this?
Your live stream.
Should I be sharing? So he has a section of YouTuber decorative pins. Select. 83 is Okay, so this 25. Who is that?
I don't know.
I recognize that from something, but
wolf.
anyways, is that like coyote? Anyways, whatever. Okay, so that's 25. 31.
Badger.
Badger, yeah.
No idea.
Is that Warrior Poet Society? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that either. That's probably like Men of the Pot or something, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're like butcher knives.
I think that's Overland Bound. Am I wrong? Anyway, whatever. I know I need to get a Rain Dance Bushcraft version. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You see? Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Just let me double check here. Hold on. Yeah, Homie says it's a sharpening choil. Yeah, absolutely.
Choil. There's a name for it? Choil.
Yeah. Wire stripper, asks Jim. No, it's not a wire stripper.
You would have had me without the choil.
Yeah.
Before the choil.
Off-Grid Recon is talking about CK Knives. He has a YouTube channel as well. Great guy, complete custom knives. Yeah, it looks like that for sure. Homie's choice. Rob Evans trained under him. Really? Jim just Instagrammed me the progress on his son's blades. Except that last time I checked my phone, it was at 4%. I'll see if I have any juice on this.
I gotta pour another scotch. I'll be right back.
Okay, bye. 1%. There's no way. This phone is gonna be alive long enough for me to. I'm trying to get it. Am I showing the right picture? No. Yes. Come on, focus. I momentarily got you mixed up with someone else there. Hey, Beto's here. How's it going? How you doing? Russell can't hear us because he doesn't have wireless headphones anymore. Mark was asking if that lone wolf was 902. Hold on a second. Let me just check out. Lone wolf. I'm looking for a lone wolf. We don't need another lone wolf. What? Wait, why?
That was a bit weird.
Why, Jesse? Why? I'm looking for a knife called a lone wolf. I'm not finding.
Knife.
I took an old English class, so I know the way knife used to be pronounced.
You take the stupidest things.
Why you gotta be hating? I'm just being entertaining.
Why do I gotta be honest?
I don't.
Be honest.
Don't. Whenever someone says, I'm just being honest, what they mean is, I'm just being an iris hole. Okay? You see, whatever you were about to say would have been more powerful without all the coughing and hacking. So just take a minute.
Okay.
I've already mentioned how sucktacular it is that you got sick on your cruise, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
How freaking unfair that is.
Yep.
Why would the universe do that?
Karma.
Possible.
Which is so awesome.
So awesome. Oh, so the Rob Evans is okay. I gotta catch up with the chat here. I'm getting lost. I'm getting the pins right. Okay, good to know. Mark Davidson says not Lone Wolf. Never mind. Thank the gods, because I'm trying to find it and I'm not. Hey, Big Green Moose in the house as well. What is that knife Russell had in hand called? The name is escaping me. That is a Groman #1. Utterly beautiful. I have one as well, but not here. Mine is the basic and the rosewood. So is it Russell's? Russell, that's the one you wear all the time, right? Just sort of wag your head up and down or nod or whatever it's called.
Yes. If I'm going out in the bush, then I will take the #4, but otherwise that's what I wear all the time. It's nice and light.
Yeah, it's nice and awesome.
It's super light. It's super handy. It's just like if I hit a deer with my, in my vehicle, this is what I'm pulling out to field dress that sucker, and it's going to be just fine.
Homie Omi says that a 6-incher and a 3-incher are a good outdoors combo, and I plan on going camping one day. Yeah, Groman #1. Yes, terrific, classic Canadiana knife. I believe somebody is posting stuff in the Discord or something, because I keep getting that.
It's just a sexy. So sexy.
So sexy. The problem with this whiskey is that it's not great.
What? 40% can pour that sucker all night.
40%. I shudder to say it's bad, because look, people love this, right? I don't think it's a bad whiskey. I just don't think that I get along with it.
The problem is, here's the problem. Like all the
single ladies.
It's just a D minor crowd.
It is.
That's what it is. Like all the people who like D minor arrangements and musicals and stuff, and they're all like, they all went down this tunnel of it's D minor's pretty good, and you're not in that crowd. You're not part of that.
I'm in a G major crowd. C major. Actually, C major is probably like the most lowest common denominator of crowds, isn't it?
C major?
Yeah.
That's every person who ever sat down at a piano doesn't like the black keys.
Yeah.
So that's very racist to be.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about the racist. I'm not talking racism. I'm just talking about being like a white pred kind of,
No, it is. It's like Ebony and Ivory did not get along that day.
Not that day, but most other days. Jim is out. Good night, Jim. I am hoping you're home safe and you're getting some sleep. I should also get some sleep at some point. We got late, but it's okay. We'll finish the conversation.
You work from home tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Have we talked about the bed underneath the desk? No, first you got to clean it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to look at George Costanza as your
spirit animal.
Yeah, sorry.
Country boy is an F sharp kind of guy. Well, okay, you.
Marissa, but I mean, look at Marissa Tomei. She loved George.
At one point, I believe I remember loving Marissa Tomei.
We all did.
A long time ago. I was going to say something and I done forgot. I plumb forgot. What the hell was I going to talk about? It was going to be hilarious and seminal. Poignant. Yeah, I was going to throw seminal at you just for the brat's sake.
What's the French word for poignant? Or is that a French word?
Oh. Hold on a second. Mark Davidson's out. Good night, Mark. Have yourself a good night. Sleep well. Be safe.
How are there 23 people still watching.
I don't know.
That's
I don't
weird.
get it. I mean, I'm glad they are. I mean, that means that I'm better at this than I thought.
So, hey, let's talk about when the next cabin thing is going to be.
Like the next cabin episode, the next
Sure. Like, when do you want to talk about cabins again?
Anytime. Like when you were sort of joking on the
Disc chords.
The disc of chords.
Chords of
By the way, poignant in French, by the way, just to get back to what you were saying, is either émouvant. In Quebec, it could be émouvant. In France, it would be émouvant. Or it could be poignante.
There's no way poignant is not a French word.
No, it's definitely a French word. It's just, but like a lot of French words have disappeared in French, but not in English.
So French words that we use in day to day have disappeared. How about souffle? Is that still a French word?
No, that's still there. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of the words that we use have disappeared in French, but like there's a lot of stuff. Look, I'm coming at this from a Quebecois point of view, right? Like there's a lot of stuff in Quebecois that they haven't said in France since the Middle Ages, right? Like,
I get that.
You know, like the French, the sound and some of the vocab in Quebec is very historical, whereas in France they've really sort of modernized.
Like, we've moved on.
Yeah. Country boy says, my cousin Vinny. No, there's no way. My cousin Vinny. My cousin Vinny. No, nobody forgot about it. Made a lot of men. And...
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh, for Christ's sake, he didn't capitalize it. So I thought he was talking about his cousin Vinny. But yes, you're right. My cousin Vinny made a lot of men and women fall in love with
What?
Because I only read the first three words and was like, no, there's no way you had a cousin Vinny. No, there's no way. These two youths. Destiny saying goodnight to Mark Davidson.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
So that was more of like a single entendre because he was literally talking about what I thought he was. It's okay. It's not embarrassing. It's totally embarrassing.
It's a little embarrassing. But anyway, yeah, good movie. She won an Academy Award for that.
For that?
She did, yeah. And it was controversial because people thought, oh, they read the wrong name.
Oh, but
no,
they didn't?
She actually won.
Why would they read the wrong name?
No, because I think it was because people couldn't believe that she would win that for a comedy movie.
Okay, I could see that.
So they made up a controversy where, you know, but nope, she actually won. And then she became Aunt May. Oh God, what a great Aunt May!
She became Aunt May. What?
Is Spider-Man?
I don't remember this.
Oh my God, you don't watch movies?
Not a lot since I had kids. I mean, unless they say Star Wars in the title. I did bring my kids to the latest Studio Ghibli, though.
You're so far behind in the superhero universe.
You know, yeah.
You know, yeah.
I was about to like come up with an argument, but no, you're absolutely right. I'm very far behind on the superhero universe.
There's been like 3 Spider-Man movies where Marissa Tomei is Aunt May.
Is she that aged at this point?
Well, she's late 50s, early 60s, but
really,
but all of us who saw her in the movie went, "Oh my God, what a great Aunt May!"
I mean, I'm 51, so, but still. Hold on.
You don't look that old.
It's because I'm so great. Destiny is bonsoir tout le monde and the Seminole Blankie. Just see you. Good night, Destiny. Sleep well. See y'all at Books Fest. Yeah. And I'm not playing this weekend, so I can actually be there at Books Fest.
Salut.
I wanted to tell y'all about that gig that I was at this past weekend.
Talk about the gig.
We are so late, by the way, but there are still 23 people watching, so I kind of feel like we should continue just a little bit.
Vindicated.
Big Grey Moose says the French don't have a word for détente. I don't know if he's talking about history or linguistics.
That sounds like a French word.
Yeah. So this weekend I played Friday and Saturday, as we do. My band plays the third. That's not the way that word works. The third weekend of every month at Hurley's Irish Pub in beautiful downtown Montreal. This weekend was kind of the energy of the crowd was a little lower than we're used to, but it wasn't a bad crowd. They were listening. They just weren't. Well, okay, they were dancing at some points, but not like it wasn't a crazy crowd that we were used to. But I'm talking about specific people because I don't want to talk about like anyway, whatever. There was a guy there Saturday night. I sort of mentioned this on the Discord, but didn't really go into it. There was a guy there on the Saturday. There was a group of guys there on the Saturday, and I'm saying this as someone who, after 20 years of playing pub gigs, I am freaking jaundiced. Like I'm not even jaded. I'm straight up yellow ass jaundiced about the people who show up in pubs. Okay, like if I walk into the men's bathroom and I hear, "So this is where the dicks hang out," one more time, I'm gonna top it. Because as someone who watches a typical Friday or Saturday night from the stage rather than from the table where I'm downing pint after pint, I have a different view. But anyway, so there was a group of guys there. There was, your typical dudes, right? Dudes, bros. Hey, their friend walks in and everyone stands up and cheering no matter what's going on, no matter if someone's playing or not. So this is one guy who is like 3 sheets to the wind. And he's got his jacket on the back of his chair. And at one point he turns maybe to order something. I don't know what. He just turns and pukes right down the back of his coat, like right into the inside of his coat and onto the floor. So they're like, and they get the busser to come and mop that shit up. That shift up. But of course, he's not going to mop up the inside of the guy's jacket, right? But the guy's he's so gone that he doesn't even acknowledge it. He just goes back to whatever tequila or whatever. This is a sort of near the start of our set. At the end of our set, we stop, and then we get off stage. And I'm talking to a friend who I know through. She plays tenor drum for the RCMP band in Montreal. Whatever. That's not important. I'm talking to friends, and Buddy Boy staggers up, puts the jacket on, and staggers at the door, dripping like puke the whole way out. I'm thinking, like, I've had a couple of nights where I've been drunk to puking, but I have never been that 3 sheets to the wind. And I just kept thinking, like, I don't want to be there for the surprise when this guy sobers up in the morning. And for God's sakes, I just hope he didn't go home and just stagger into bed without taking his coat off. But maybe it doesn't even matter, right? Like, he put the damn coat on. So even if he took his coat off, he still crawled into his bed covered down the back in puke. And like, I relatively control the amount that I drink these days because I don't like the feeling of being like actually drunk, and I really hate the feeling the next morning. But there's also, like, for the longest time, I would go to a party and then wake up the next morning and feel disappointed in myself because I spoke. And I feel that if I spoke, I probably said something embarrassing at one point. But that guy was legit embarrassing. That guy was legit like, I put this on my body and came home. And on a tertiary level, I feel bad for the taxi driver who picked him up. Right? I mean, like, yuck. But I mean, aside from that, it was an okay. It was an okay weekend. We were playing with a fill-in fiddler, who I've now played with a few times, so I know where she's gonna go, and I can follow along. We have. Sorry, I just bopped my mic because everything's getting tangled up here. Like Russell, you play music, right? Or at least you've played. I mean, you play trombone, so you have obviously played in a band environment and stuff like that.
I've played in concerts and stuff.
Yeah, right. So you know what I'm saying. Like, there's a thing that happens in your head when you're on stage rather than in the crowd, right? You have a different view of the space, of what's going on in the space.
Yep.
You know what you just reminded me of, by which I mean me, but through you, because we were talking about you, and I know that you play brass because you play trombone. I was at I staggered. No, I didn't. I was not three shoots in the wind. I walked into Hurley's one night. That's the pub that I play at. But this is back before I was really playing there full time or at all. And one of the bands that I used to walk in to watch, the fiddler had his brother there from New York City, and this guy played the trumpet. No, Russell, what's the little trumpet with the 4 keys called?
No.
Little guy, you right? It's not the cornet. Does this matter though?
No,
he played brass. He played a trumpet of some sort.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's a Celtic band because it's an Irish pub. And his brother isn't like a Celtic musician, but he knows he can do that stuff. And so they're playing, and this guy is like doing all these Celtic, like, jigs, reels, polkas on this trumpet. And A, I loved it. And B, like, this was January, and this was like June or July. But it's amazing how playing those fiddle tunes on trumpet sounds like Christmas for some reason. And I was utterly enchanted for that entire night. I was like, I'm not leaving until this guy's done. And I love walking into a bar situation and hearing something musically that I've never heard before. I love like walking in and being enchanted, especially as someone who's been on stage for as long as I have. I love walking in and being like, what is going on? I was at a session once. A session is where a bunch of Celtic musicians sit in a circle in a bar, and just somebody starts a song and everyone follows along. And there was a guy there who used to play, or who does play the Irish flute. And he didn't have his flute with him, but he had a sax with him. And so he was doing all these fiddle tunes on the sax. Same thing. I was like, wow, this is cool, because I've never heard this before.
I was at a pub once when that exact thing you just described happened. Bunch of musicians sitting around a great big booth. One of them would start playing, and everyone else would join in, and like, oh my God, I loved everything. I loved it all.
Yeah, I love that kind of thing.
I was blown away. Like, they played so many pieces.
Was it like a Celtic session, or was it something else, like a folky thing, or what?
I'm not sure I'm knowledgeable enough to know, but it felt like a Celtic session. Like,
yeah, because the session, when I say session, I mean that with like a capital S. That's what it's called when you just show up and you sit down, and there's like 4 bodhrán players, 3 fiddlers, a couple of flautists.
Exactly. That's what it exactly was. There was like a bunch of people sitting around, and they're all like chatting, and then suddenly somebody starts playing, and everybody else joins in. I'm like, holy.
Yeah, that was probably a Celtic session then, because that's exactly how it happens. Yeah. I haven't been to a session in 15 years. But like every now and again you hear utter magic at a session because someone didn't, look, I'm just here from another gig. I don't have my flute with me, but I got a sax and I can play some jigs and reels on a sax. And a young Jesse will be like, wow. 18 people are still hanging with us. You guys are hardcore, man.
Rock stars.
Yeah, you guys is. But yeah, it's like I don't know. Excuse me. I love discovering something that impresses me like that, or that enchants me like that. Yeah. Because I really feel jaded about life in a lot of ways, for reasons that I sure as hell ain't going into in public. But like, so when something sort of enchants me like that, I'm like, what? I love that. Like,
Yeah.
I just I'm here till the end.
Yeah.
There's a magical moment, and I'm like, I need to experience this in its completeness, completo, in its wholeness, in its whole.
I love that you had to go to French for that.
In its entirety is what I'm trying. By the way, that's why, I experienced a lot of life through, I've got to get a recording of this opening gifts of whatever. And like these days, I drop the phone and I stay in the moment without a screen between me and the moment these days, for the same reason in a lot of ways, because you're watching, I don't know, Russell, you're not probably hanging around a lot of 3-year-olds or whatever opening
you and I will differ in this every single time.
Well, you like to keep a record, right?
My memory is shot. My memory sucks. My memory, even the famous black science guy said the same thing.
You talking about
yeah,
Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, for first person accounts of stuff suck.
Oh yeah, that's where he was talking about when he was called up for jury duty, and he said that eyewitness accounts, eyewitness testimony is scientifically useless. Yeah,
exactly. I'm with you in that I love seeing things firsthand, but I will go for camera every time. I will go for video every time. even if I miss it, even if I only half catch it.
And I'm perfectly willing to admit that your position might make more sense than mine. Absolutely might. But I came to feel that, as someone who views himself as a video maker, or I went to school to be a filmmaker, and I'm not doing that, but a video maker, YouTube maker, whatever, as someone who has viewed so much of the world through a viewfinder, that I felt that for me, I feel that I'm missing the immediacy of it. Like when Camille or Clémence are opening gifts, I'm recording it. I'm absolutely recording it because, whatever, document, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he's gone. Let's everybody talk about him. Hold on a second. Oh, Country Boy says, come on, click. Hand stitching goes by fast when my brain is occupied listening to Jess's Tuesday free for all. Thanks for that. I'm glad I could be of assistance there. I don't know if we're making any sense, because I've had 6 pints. These are not pints. 6 of these drams so far, and even at 40%, that'll kick you in the head. I will show this one more time. Again, I do not like this, but that does not mean that it is a bad whiskey. Some people are utterly sold on it. And I do respect the fact that it is a very unique flavor profile. for sure. I can't believe we're still going, and I can't believe the 12 of you are still hanging with us. It's funny because I know that like on any given Tuesday, like a quarter of the people watching are actually commenting. So I would love one Tuesday for someone who watches. 11. I guess I pissed someone off. I would love for one Tuesday someone who has, because 10. That's because you guys are expecting me to say something, right? Okay, Russell, what I was saying is that I realize that every Tuesday, like a third of the people who are watching make comments. So I would love one Tuesday for everyone who never comments to say, hi, I'm here. That's all I need. They don't need to comment. Just because I want to know who's hanging with me, who's spending their Tuesday night with me, so that I can call them out and say, hey, welcome to the live stream. 9. Okay, so as I've started talking about this, we've gone from 12 people to 9. So maybe I should shut up.
No, this. Hold on.
And now we're up to 11. What's going on? Tim says, still here. Good. Nice to see you, Tim. Again, still.
You can't. The YouTube is buggered with the number.
Is it?
Because I mean, my live streams I've gone from 250 down to like 150, like in minutes because of no reason other than YouTube.
Really?
Just like, hey, screw this.
That's crazy talk. Country Boy says, if I had 6 drams, I'd be out in the street looking to fight whatever tree stepped in front of me. Yeah, generally I would as well, but I have to maintain a certain decorum, no matter how drunk I am, due to things I will not discuss on the YouTube views. However, this is my, I think this is my 6th dram of the night. And here's the thing, I took this out because I don't like it, so I figured I'm going to have 1 dram and it's going to be over. But I didn't know that I'd still be live streaming at 23:40, Russell.
You got to bottle down.
Actually, it's funny that you say that because on my other channel, I would say that once you're down to here, you bottle down. Within the month, that's got to be gone. Within like the next 2 weeks, that's got to be gone.
Within the night, it's got to be gone.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
I know you would, but I would not go that far.
The way I look at it,
everything that happens after 11 o'clock is like is a free for all.
Yeah. I don't care. Anyway, can we go back to Star Wars?
Yes, we can, but you have to be hilarious for a minute while I go see Man About Hers first.
All right, we're going to talk about this movie. What the hell is the movie called? Just come back and tell me what Rebel Moon. I can't hear you. But Rebel Moon. This is possibly the worst movie I've ever watched. It's on Netflix. It was made by Zack Snyder, which really kills me because Zack Snyder brought me Dawn of the Dead, 2004. Really put him on the map. But he made Rebel Moon. Rebel Moon was like Star Wars meets the Seven Samurai. And I guess he's at a point in his career where Hollywood executives go, okay, we'll give you money for the thing you want to do. I read the script and it's like, God damn, I guess. What a terrible movie. What a terrible movie. Star Wars makes The Sixth Sense, and it just goes, like, it takes like 30 minutes before the movie even starts. Just a terrible thing. And then she goes out and she hires the Seven Samurai, and I don't know. Like, Zack Snyder needs to So, because he did like superhero movies and crap, and I don't know. Jess, I hope you can't. Did you come back with cheese? He's wrapping the blanket around himself. He's about to put on the earphones, and he's got his cheese. Have you got cheese? Is it cheese or is it like cottage cheese where it's like their what happened? The cream cheese. Have you got cream cheese where you're like spooning it in?
No, it's just cheese. Where did I put it? Here it is. Rebel Moon.
Do you get like you got any brie?
Yeah, but it's too messy to eat in this sort of context.
So like City Robot brie, and we didn't use it over the holidays because the conditions weren't right. But she bought this this thing of brie was around. It's a round thing, right? It's like a pizza, but it's a round thing. And I took a she went back to the city, so I took a big chunk and I heated it up, and then I realized what I found out was like you take the round of brie, which is coated in this stuff,
Rind.
and you heat it up. Yeah, in the rind. You heat it up in the rind. You don't cut it before that because it's going to heat up, it's going to melt, and it's going to be contained in the rind.
Yeah.
And then you eat it.
You could do that, yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm just saying, I've been doing it wrong all this time.
No. Anytime someone tells you, oh, you've been doing this wrong your whole life, tell them to shut the hell up. It is one way to eat brie for sure, and it's delish, but it's not. There's nothing wrong with just taking a little triangle of brie and putting on a cracker. It's cheese. It's meant for all.
What are you eating now? That was a crack.
No, it was cheese.
Okay.
I just bit it with authority because I was holding forth. I was giving my opinion. If I'm not giving my opinion, well, that. If I am giving my opinion, if I'm telling you how it is,
you definitely want to do stuff with authority.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not against that.
Shawnee says, so it's the storyline that sucks, the acting, the style of filming they use. I'm taking it you're talking about Rebel Moon.
Oh, Jesus! Everything, everything. Like the story. Think of the Seven Samurai. Okay, so there's a town. People. So you got to establish some characters in the town.
Yeah.
Then the bad guys come and they're like,
and cause trouble.
We want food. We want more food than you can produce. But that goes on for like 20 minutes.
Also in Ants, by the way, we want your food. We want more food than you can produce.
But exactly. But you can watch the movie Ants as a like, but like the thing with the bad guys goes on for like 20 minutes, and like okay, I get that these are bad guys and that oh god, it just goes on and on and on, and then some guy gets killed, and then the story goes on and on and on. And then the girl goes, okay, I'm going to go out and hire some people. And like you're 45 minutes into the movie at this point. And you're like, it takes forever to get going. And they're
self-indulgent.
And then you're like, okay, there's somewhere they're gonna get somewhere. And no, they're gonna settle down and talk for half an hour. Like we're gonna get more character development or something. It's gonna go on and on.
Right. So this is where the self-indulgent thing comes in. Speaking of indulgent, Marcel says a warm brie is delish. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Marcel's never been wrong.
Tim finished the frame of. Blah. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna start that again. Tim finished the frame of his cabinet. The sirens are blasting outside. Stay in and stay safe, Tim.
Do the inside thing, Tim.
Stay inside. So I guess I'm not really gonna necessarily feel the need to watch Rebel Moon then.
You should do it because you like crap like that.
You know, it's the worst film I've ever seen.
Oh, please indulge me.
Congo. Have you seen that?
Congo?
Yeah, Congo. Apes with lasers on their arms.
Oh, okay.
Garbage movie.
I don't
Oops.
know. I don't know what that is, but
Hold on. I will find the
I've seen some pretty bad stuff. I saw something with Stephen Baldwin. That guy needs to retire into a let's act kind of studio.
right. Congo, 1995, 5.3 stars. That's more than I would give it.
Congo?
Congo.
I'm gonna look this up.
Action, adventure, mystery. No, tonight when we're finally off here, you have to watch it because
Congo?
it is
Laura Linney?
garbage. Hold on, I shall now share the screen.
5.3. Laura Linney? Tim Curry?
It should be great, right? Right there, it should be great.
For source or diamonds large enough to appear to powerful laser communication transmitter. Was a team sent after them. She's former CIA operative and accompanied by G Wiz gadgetry and few eccentric characters. Oh god.
A source of diamonds large enough and pure enough to function as a powerful laser communications transmitters, or is it laser weapons? When contact is lost with his son and the team, his sometime daughter-in-law is sent after them. She is a former CIA operative and accompanied by gee whiz gadgetry and a few eccentric characters, including a mercenary, a researcher
Laura Linney.
Yes. Yeah.
I assume it's a really bad movie, but Tim
garbage.
Curry.
Yeah, but Tim Curry, Laura Linney. I mean, like, it seems like look, I was tricked into watching it for a reason. I should watch it again. Just to...
tricked into watching it for a reason.
Well, you know, I should watch it again just to see if I'm gonna start that sentence again. I should watch it again just to see if my initial impression stands up to the test of time. Stands up to the test of time.
Laura Linney, though.
Yeah, she's a higher value actress than terrible movies, right? I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. She's not like a B movie actress.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She's a little.
Is she? I thought she was a bit better than that
at the time.
Oh, I see. In the 90s.
This movie reminds me of like Weird Science. No, sorry, not Weird Science, but
actually,
it was a movie with War Games. Yes, War Games.
Matthew Broderick.
Yes,
Matthew Broderick.
Broderick.
I don't know.
Broderick.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Mathieu Broderick. Hold on a second. Hold on. Marcel says, it's raining cats and dogs here. Lightning, thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening. Where are you, Tim? Tim is out west on the west coast.
California.
The M. Night Shyamalan Bam Bam movie called Glass was so freaking slow paced. I kept forgetting where I was watching that stupid movie. I didn't hate that movie though.
God, I hated that movie.
Did you? I didn't hate it. I do feel that I feel where Marcel's coming from is a little slower. But I'm Gen X. Movies didn't have to move as fast in my day. I mean,
Shyamalan has some great movies. I loved a lot of them, even if it wasn't for the right reasons. But Glass sucked.
M. Night Shyamalan Bim Bam ticked me off early enough that I haven't seen most of his movies.
Oh, when did he first tick you off?
Glass, actually. Here's the thing. I realized in that film
Film.
in that movie, that he was always going to throw that twist in at the end. And so that became, he's like a caricature of himself in that way. Right? Like, has he made a film without the twist that we all wait for now? It's like, oh, wait, is Bruce Willis actually dead? Right? In Glass, do you know what I'm saying? Like I feel that with M. Night Shyamalan, Bing Bang, his first couple of movies were like, wow, cool, new, creative, boom. And it's like, oh, there's the twist in the next one. Oh, yeah, there's the so like I end up just waiting for the twist at the end. Am I not making sense? People, 15, 17 of you still watching, I believe that Russell has a problem with what I've just said.
The guy's movies in general, like Signs, for example.
That's the one I would like to see. I haven't seen, but I would like to see, actually.
Oh, you haven't seen Signs?
No, but that one I actively want to see.
So movies like Signs, or okay, Signs is maybe a great example where I thought there were some huge problems with the movie, but I thought that the whole experience with the main character and his family were just really excellently done. Like the whole drama between the guy and the family was really well done. But
look, I think he's a very capable filmmaker. I just feel that the endless, row of twists heading off into the future of all of his films kind of irritated me. And it's funny because hold on a second. Marcel says, I loved lots of movies. Loved Signs and The Sixth Sense. And to me, The Sixth Sense was a towering example of filmmaking. That was before I sort of became a little jaded about him. But I really think
so The Sixth Sense suffered from what all of his movies suffer from. If you want to break down The Sixth Sense, like from a logistical standpoint, which is where all his movies fall apart. Logistically, okay, so this guy's dead, but he can't see other dead people. That doesn't make any sense. Like there are a lot of stuff in his movies that don't make any sense. He just kind of threw it in there. But if you take that out of the equation, all of his movies where there's family interaction, where there's drama between characters, it's all brilliant. It's all brilliant in my opinion.
And it's funny that you brought up that thing about the Sixth It's funny that you brought up that thing about The Sixth Sense, because when I saw The Sixth Sense, I was swept along, and then I was like, oh, he's dead. But I didn't think about sort of the logistics that you're talking about. How come he didn't see other dead people? I didn't even think of that. I didn't think of that until about 15 seconds ago, actually. Because that film was marked in my head as like, this was something else, dude. And it was only after that, when I was watching because I was like, after that film, whenever I saw his name, I was like, yep, gonna watch it. And I was like, oh, another twist. Oh, another twist. Okay, that's where we're going. And so I stopped. But I think Sixth Sense was the first one that I really watched, and I was enchanted by it because of that twist at the end, and because I hadn't yet become jaded by M. Night Shyamalan Bing Bang, or whatever the hell his name is, Shyamalan. But now I look back on that film, and because of what you just said, I'm like, no, that one bugs me too. All of a sudden, like if I watch it again, I'll be like, how come he's not seeing dead people?
Mm-hmm.
The freaking kid can see dead people. How come he can't? He's dead, for God's sakes.
Yep.
Wow, I wish we hadn't started talking about him tonight.
There's a lot of stuff in his films, like signs where the gosh, swing away.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Yep.
Oh,
But
hold on. Marcel says the kid says at one point they only see what they want to see. So maybe that explains it.
No, thanks, Marcel. No, Science has one of the best premises ever.
Was that his first big film? That's the first one of him.
No, The Sixth Sense was his first big film.
It was okay. Because I want it to be as good as I remember it to be, as I remember it being.
That Signs, the movie Signs was around the time when I started really into screenwriting, and I started learning about story, and I started learning about storytelling, and and Signs blew me away for one particular scene. Okay, so Mel Gibson was the main character. His wife had died in a car accident. A doctor had been on the scene. In fact, it was the doctor that caused it. He fell asleep at the wheel. And the doctor was played by Shyamalan, right? And they'd never confronted each other. They never talked about it. Except for Mel Gibson's character had kind of disregarded God. He stepped away from religion. But it was when the guy, Shyamalan, drove up in his truck by the guy's house. And the guy stepped outside and was like, "Are you okay? What happened?" And the guy's sitting there in his truck, and his knuckles are covered with blood. And and it doesn't even matter what they talked about. It was like that scene was so poignant. That scene was so like the guy's got blood in his knuckles, and he's apologizing for his wife, the guy's wife death.
Right.
It was such a great scene. Like Shyamalan just it was one of the greatest scenes ever in movie making history, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I've been meaning to see that one for a while. I mean, now that you spoiled it, maybe I won't.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, fuck you, I guess.
Fuck everyone. Oh, hey, I've already been demonetized once this month. Not loving that cough of yours, dude. Thank you for muting yourself, though, because that would,
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, it's good that you try.
So you have to see Signs now.
Yeah, I've had to see it for a long time.
There's a lot of stupid shit, like in the end where they're like, hey, swing away. This stupid fight between the guy and this alien.
I feel that he falls down a lot in the endings now because I'm just so used to what he does.
The thing about Shyamalan is what I keep saying is like he does great stories between people and family. Like the stuff he does between the people and their families is
right.
Like freaking.
Yeah.
Which is the same with what's the other movie? The Village. You haven't seen The Village either.
Dude, since my first daughter was born, I haven't seen anything that doesn't say Star Wars or Star Trek in the title. I have like a backlog of stuff I want to see, like you would not believe. Hey, you don't have Apple TV, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. But
Does any of the 15 people still watching at this late hour, like, God help me at work in the morning hour, does anyone here have Apple TV and watch Foundation? I'll wait.
I gotta watch that now. Why?
I told you why I wanted to see it, right? Because even the author had said, like, this is not filmable.
Foundation.
Yeah. It's Apple TV.
Isaac Asimov?
Yeah. And you don't need to have an actual Apple TV box to have Apple TV. You just need a smart TV. And so I started watching it because I had to know how the hell they'd figured out how to film it. And I'll tell you something. There's a lot of episodes where I'm like, oh, do we have to talk more?
Foundation. We've talked about this before. Foundation is just a series of conversations.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's
it's a series of
all it
conversations,
is.
and it's politics, right?
That's all
Conversation
it is.
and politics, yeah. And so you really have to sort of, and the thing is, Dune was really hard to watch at one point as well, right? Like because Dune is not that far off in terms of it just being like wheels within wheels kind of thing.
Dune. Oh, Dune.
And because I had watched Dune back in the 80s, I felt like I was equipped to watch Foundation. And I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Like, there's some very cool stuff happening in it, which keeps me coming back to it like every 3 weeks or something. But I feel that TV has changed for millennials and will continue to change for Gen Z in that I don't know if you Russ, did you Deb? I'm gonna start that again. Did you ever see a film called The Land Before Time? Animated dinosaurs.
Yes.
Right? I like the movie. Camille likes the movie. My wife cannot handle the movie because it's not fast enough. Like, it doesn't move. Right? And so, like, I have to maintain the reality that there's a generational thing happening there. But, excuse me. But the, like, literally the thing I was about to say has gone out of my head. So I have no idea where I was going with that, unfortunately. But it had to do with Foundation and how it would drive the missus crazy. But I'm okay with it because I'm of a generation where some of our films were kind of talky. Dude, even Apocalypse Now was pretty damn talky compared to what like people expect these days,
Yeah.
Could you imagine yeah, okay. Let's start that again. Could you imagine putting out 2001: A Space Odyssey now?
Yeah.
Da 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 for like 15 minutes, and you're just
it'd be so fucking boring. It would be so boring.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait, what are people saying in the? Oh no, who's left us now? Tim is going back inside with Christy. Have a good night, guys. Okay,
Tim. Good night, Christy.
That was a minute ago. Okay, so maybe he caught us. Country Boy says, I'm old. I still know what I'm there. Start again. Start again. I'm old. I still watch network TV and weekends. Binge dumb shift on Netflix. Either of you watched Loudermilk? Nope.
Nope.
Not yet.
Have
But
not.
I will now.
Nope.
Right
I
after.
won't. I won't do it.
No. I would also like to point out that little fish, Marcel says, about to hit the thumbs up. If you haven't,
Thanks, Marcel.
she's doing the God's good works there, telling you all to hit that thumbs up. Okay, there. Everyone's saying good night to little Marcel is Gen X too. I can handle a good plot and lots of dialogue. Man, you do not look like my age, Marcel. I hope that doesn't come across as flirty because that's not the way I meant it. But I did not think you were nearly my age. Country Boy says it's funny stuff. Good old funny stuff. I do love me some funny stuff.
I love funny stuff. I have to grab some funny stuff right now.
Thing is, for me, if I have one more dram, I'm not going to be in any condition for work tomorrow.
Yep, I'll be back.
So much of kids' cartoons are just a bunch of screaming, not enough dialogue. Hey, you know what, Marcel? Have you ever seen Should I just move on? I don't remember what I'm. Have you ever seen? Oh wow, this is really weird. Have you ever seen? Dora the Explorer. Have you ever watched Dora the Explorer with your kids? I'm not sure how old your kids are. I think they're a little like. I think they're of the age where Dora Explorer was part of sort of their youth. I feel that Dora just yells all the time, like all the time. There's a guy on TikTok who, like, sort of tells you what your kids should not be using, what you should not be watching, and what they should be watching instead. Like, you know, your kids should, under no circumstances, be watching Caillou because that guy's a pint-sized asshole, and I agree. But you should be watching Bluey instead, for kind of thing. And I know that your kids are older than this, but I've lost track of my question. I have completely lost track of my question. Oh yeah, you said that sort of it's all yelling, and I found that Dora was all yelling. It was like, oh, stop, you know. Hold on a second. Marcel is 52.
Carol is here. Holy crap!
Marcel is no. That's like. That's way over 10 years older than I thought you were. Oh, shit. Now I'm all embarrassed and stuff. Apparently there's Dora and Friends now. Tell you what I'm not going to watch. Whoops. Country Boy says, watch the first episode of Loudermilk and give it a chance. Don't watch around the kids. Good to know. I'll watch it one night when I'm alone, which is many nights. Oh, Carol's out of here. All right, good. Good night, Carol.
I missed Carol earlier.
Carol. Bonsoir, Carol. Marcel says, my kids watched a lot of PBS cartoons like Clifford, Thomas the Tank Engine, and Berenstain Bears. Berenstain Bears was generational for sure. I never watched. I didn't know there was a cartoon of the Berenstain Bears, but I did used to read them. They talk on PBS Network lately. My son liked Caillou when he was smaller. Caillou?
Caillou.
Look, I'm from the city that created Caillou, okay? So when I tell you that Caillou was a pint-sized asshole who did not deserve to be on your TV screen, tell you what, I'm telling you the truth.
Really? Why?
He was. He. Because he's an asshole. He's an asshole to his sibling. He's an asshole to his parents. And every episode he gets away with it. The parents smile and say, "Oop, Caillou, on fait pas ça." I was like, funk off. Like, Caillou is a bad influence on kids. Peppa Pig is kind of bad influence on kids too, because like sometimes she slaps her brother and stuff, but she also gets away with it. Like she doesn't get in trouble for anything. It's like, oh, Peppa, we don't do whatever. Like Peppa Pig is bad, but Caillou is terrible. It's very bad.
Caillou.
Caillou. And by the way, Caillou just means little stone. Tells you something about his freaking head. You know, it's funny because at one point, here the director of Caillou and the young woman who voiced Caillou in French, because Caillou was first done in French, right? The English Caillou that you're watching on PBS is a translation. But at one point, they died in a small plane accident. Like they were flying at. We will stop until Russell is finished coughing.
Continue. Yeah. Wait.
And here's the thing. It's entirely possible that in French, Caillou is not that big an asshole. But in English, he's an utter rat bastard. He really is, you know. Anyways, I was going to say that at one point, the director and the woman who voiced Caillou in French, of course, they died in like a Cessna accident or something. And it was like all of Quebec society was like, "Oh my God, they are dead." But I was just like, "So is Caillou going to be over?" Oh no, Caillou is not going to be over. Shift. But like they were kind of quasi big name. I threw the word quasi in there because I'm trying not to give Caillou more than it's worth. But they were big names, you know, in sort of the Quebec animation world. And the Quebec animation world is bigger than we think it is, because they do a lot of stuff that one would think is from Toronto or New York. So they were, but because a lot of this stuff is done in French first, like the names we would associate with them that escape me right now, because for God's sakes, Russell, look what you made me do.
I'm sorry. Look up.
You sound like General Grievous. Oh, what a night. Holy schnapps.
Nice.
Holy schnapps. That's not what I meant to say.
That's how you bottle down, motherfucker.
That's how you bottle down, motherfunker. Mother Hubbard.
Mother Hubbard.
Mother Hubbard. Hold on a second. I just want to go back to what peeps were saying here, because I feel like we've ignored the peeps.
It's mostly Marcel.
Yeah, but just come on, man. I like Marcel.
God damn.
Especially because Marcel is a really freaking good cook. Oh yeah. Okay.
Marcel. God damn.
What's this? First episode of Loudermilk. Yes. Okay. I will watch Loudermilk, the first episode. Good night, says
Carol.
Little Fish says, my kids watch lots of this. Marcel says, they talk on PBS Network. My son liked Caillou when he was small. He's 16 now. Yeah, I remember that. Marcel says, well, thank you, Jess, but I have no idea what for. Maybe it's for dissing Caillou. Maybe Marcel didn't like Caillou either. Here's the thing. Shut up, Jesse. Caillou is not allowed on my TV. Country boy, I love your face. Good. Caillou. Because here's the thing. I found that Caillou was teaching my kid at that point, Camille. the wrong things, right? Like Caillou was getting
Right?
away
Right?
with stuff, right?
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 Just want to slap that kid.
Oh man, Marcel, your daughter's mother, she likes wild crats. We'll just wait until Russell's finished.
I had to clean Caillou out of my nose. Yes.
Get Caillou as far away as possible. Man, Marcel, I love wild crats. I am trying to get my youngest daughter to be into wild crats, but I tell you what, she is trapped.
What is the wild crats?
Wild Kratts is freaking great TV, man. The Krat brothers, a couple of guys, they're sort of American, but there's a Canadian connection too. I think they lived in the Ottawa Valley at one point, and there was Canadian money in getting them started. But they started with a show called Zaboomafoo.
Oh, I love those guys.
Oh, man, I want those guys as life because they were doing cool stuff.
I love Zaboomafoo. Those guys were brilliant.
So it's those two. The Krat brothers, the Wild Kratts. Okay, start again. I'm going to start this again.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Don't look at the time.
Okay, I guess I'm going to be late to work at my own kitchen table.
Don't look at the time.
Not going to look. The Krat brothers, man, their stuff is so solid. And so Wild Kratts is apparently animated show, apparently them. It's this adventure, but it packs a lot of knowledge into each episode for the kids, and it's just, I think it's pinnacle TV. I think it's peak kids TV, and I want my youngest ass daughter to watch it, but she's so stuck into freaking Cocomelon, which is terrible. But yeah, man, Wild Kratts, I am so on board with that. She's laughing at herself. I love Wild Kratts. I love me some Wild Kratts. She's saying goodnight to Carole because Carole is going to bed. That's wild. I don't know what she's talking about, but I think it has something to do with something. Smiley face. Yeah, I love Zaboomafoo. A Little Fish in the Kitchen says,
Caillou.
I'll never look at Caillou the same way again. You should never have looked at Caillou with anything other than utter disgust. Disgust. Look at the crap that do I really want to get into this? Look at the crap that kid gets away with every freaking episode. He's a brat, and he never has to pay for anything. He never has to deal with who he is. Does that sound more savage than it needs to be?
A little.
He never has to deal with these consequences of anything. It's like,
let's bring it back to bushcraft.
Yes. So Caillou should be chopped up and turned into kindling.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Really?
Kindling.
Belch. Hold on. Jess is going to start work at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and it will be painful. It will be painful. I like Bluey. Oh man, are you kidding? I love Bluey. You know the thing about Bluey is that parents really love Bluey. Like Bluey is one of those shows, kind of like Sesame Street, where the kids would be watching, and parents would walk by and they're like, and then next thing you know, the parents are sitting there watching. Bluey is an unbelievably good show. It's unbelievably good.
Blue's Clues? What is Bluey?
Not even Blue's Clues. By the way, I know someone who acts on Blue's Clues and You, which is the new rebooted Blue's Clues. But no, Bluey is also Australian. Bluey is a dog who lives in a family of dogs. There's Mom. There's Dad. There's, what's Bluey's sister called? Bingo. Wait, not Bingo. Bingo. Anyway, whatever. I can't get the Australian ooh sound. And then there's Bluey. Fabulous freaking show. Absolutely. Shawnee, I completely agree with you. Marcel also likes Bluey. Bluey, man. The thing is, yeah, it's really cute, but if you sit down and watch an episode of Bluey, first of all, your kid will end up speaking kind of weird. But it's such a good show. So you may end up crying sometimes, but shut up. I remember when Wild Kratts was just the brothers doing real things before the animated stuff. I don't remember that. I remember Wild Kratts being the animated stuff, but I also remember other shows that the Kratt brothers did. I love those guys. I have so much. Okay. I have so much respect for what the Kratt brothers did because they clearly love the animal. They love animals. They love sort of that kind of thing, and they love kids. What shows through in all of the shows that the Kratt brothers have done is that they clearly adore kids. There's not like a crap ton of kids on their show, which is good, but like they know where they're coming from and they know where they want to go. So
Yep.
yeah. And I wish I was a Kratt brother. I would love that. Well, I would love to do that stuff. Marcel is laughing at something, but I don't bloody remember what because it's been a hell of a. This has been the most freewheeling of post 10 freewheels. Wait, what do I call the post 10 part? Post 10, the not freewheel for not freewheeling, but the free for all. Did I peek there? Was that too loud?
No, you didn't.
I have concerns. So Marcel also says, do your kids watch Izzy's Koala World on Netflix? No, but I will take a look at it because I am trying to get my youngest away.
Never heard of it.
No, me neither. But I will explore it tomorrow morning as a way of getting my kid away from freaking CoComelon. Because CoComelon is garbage TV. It's utterly garbage. It's a pile of shift disguised as a TV show. My daughter loves that show too. I will take a look at it. She's an animal encyclopedia. She's wanted to be a vet since she was 4. Still does. You know what's funny, Marcel? My eldest daughter, Camille, Cody, who you have seen on my my members only live streams and previously, like historically on my episodes. I remember when she was young, she wanted to be a scientist who worked with animals. Like she didn't know what a veterinarian was. I hope she remembers that one day because I don't know what she's going to be. And I don't believe in telling her what she's going to be, right? Like the way some people who are like, well, my dad was a doctor, so I am a doctor. Funk that crap, dude. But I spent a lot of time trying to maintain an element of her being in the outdoors. Because what this is, if you can maintain... Okay, that's better. If you can maintain a love in them for the outdoors by the age of like 5, you kind of... You got them. And I hope that has taken with her. You know, these days it's all about basketball, but I don't know. Whatever. Move on. Because I was going to get modeling there. I don't think there are any Bushcraft kids shows, are there? Should there be? Yeah, of course there should be. Damn straight there should be. And I should be the host. You know what? It's funny because I was just like blah blah blobbing there, but Shawnee, I really do think there should be. But like, what network would put it on? Would PBS put that on? Like, if I wrote up an entire proposal, who would put that on? Wildcrafts is one thing, but a full-on bushcraft show is a totally different. It's a totally different proposal. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Thing, because of course that's a great word. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to sell somebody on Wildcrafts or the Krat Brothers because they're magical. So in any kind of milieu, or no, I'm not. My words are not working anymore. But it's another thing to move from that to like a full-on bushcraft kids show. But I would love to do that. Love. I'm just trying to see what the actual notes are, or like what you guys are saying here. Hold on. I'm just trying to find where we are here. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. No, we're just moving right along. My daughter used to say she wanted to be an animal rescuer. I love that. Canadians here, if there are any of you left, do any of you remember okay. Mini Mama Moo. Canadians, if any of you are left, I'm not going to get through this, am I? Let's start with the air. Do any of you remember a show? I believe it was on the CBC called Danger Bay. The thing is, Marcel, I was sitting here at the age of 51 and thinking, all those jobs, animal rescuer, anything that happened in the forest, I would love. I'm not qualified for most of them, by which I mean any of them. But it's just like, man, the idea of working in the outdoors, the idea of working with plants or animals, or like taking a forestry course. I have a niece, niece-ish, step-ish, niche, whatever, who works, like, her conduit was working as a tree planter. Tree planter? Is that a real term? Tree planter, right? Russell, do you know those people who put saplings in the ground? So Olivia started off as a tree planter and now has parlayed that into like getting a master's in something forestry related. And I often wonder, like, what would it be like if and I'm saying this as someone who wants to kind of go back to school for a master's. Won't, because, life, but like, I lost it. I completely lost the track. I don't know where I was going with that. Wait, let me see what did Marcel say? My daughter wanted to be an animal rescuer. Not the same thing. Molly of Denali on PBS has canoes, fishing, preservation, and wild goods. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what that show is. Russell, I'm lost. What am I supposed to... Where was I? I was going to talk about... I am so glad I am this lost in front of 13 people right now. Shife. I'm trying not to use any language. Shife. What was I talking about? I had something really clear, like crystal clear, like a needle into the subject I wanted to mention, and it's gone. And it was sparked by something Marcel said. And it's gone. Oh, So embarrassing. Country Boy says, "You've outlasted me at 4:30 a.m." Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, good night, dude. Good night. 4:30. What time is he here? Country Boy's not... He's behind us, man. It's like midnight 33 right now. For him, it should be like 9:33, unless he gets up at an ungodly hour. Well, I have Denali? There's someone of Denali, which is actually technically a Canadian show, but it's shown on PBS. So Denali, I think, is in Alaska, and so they shifted it to Alaska. But I don't, Shawnee. I don't want to say much more, but yeah, if it's the show I think it of, grammatically that was terrible. If it's the show that I think it is, then I know what you're talking about. I think Russell has gone to sleep. Country Boy gone to sleep. A little kiss in the kitchen. There's an idea for some videos on your channel, Jess. I don't know what we were talking about. Marcel, do me a favor and remind me at some point of what the ideas were for my channel. I started playing this with Bushcraft things for kids. I should do that, actually. Maybe you can volunteer to help replace old stairs or pass on portages. That's the thing. I have often said, Shawnee, man, you have like, boom, you've reminded me of something. I would love like a U.S. Forest Service, but for like a Royal Canadian Forest Service, I guess. Royal Canadian. Would probably not allowed to use the word royal until the king gives us. Ooh, the king. That's weird. That's weird. That's the first time I've said that. Wow, that's weird. That tasted weird. Can we just move on and pretend that just... Wow, shit. The point I was trying to make before I freaked myself right the hell out was that I love the idea of like the U.S. Forest Service, right? And I would love the exact same thing to be true, like an organization exactly like that in Canada, where they use old school tools for the same reason as the U.S. Forest Service. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, maybe you can volunteer, help replace old stairs. I would love to set up something like that in Canada. Sorry, I would love it. To like repair the stairs on trails and stuff. I don't know what IRS is even laughing at because I feel I'm really far behind. Yeah, it's in Alaska. Yeah, but it's a Canadian / American show. Yeah. Restless Frozen. He's also asleep. Sleeping. Yeah, it's just always asleep. It's fine. I mean, I was supposed to have shut this thing down like... By which I meant like an hour and 40 minutes ago. This is late. I don't blame Russell for being asleep. Yeah. Marcel is saying Bushcraft stuff for kids. I love that idea. I love that idea. I think, man, getting your kids into the outdoors and into bushcraft and into stuff like that is so key. Key. I love the idea. Cannot carry him to bed. I am a 6-hour drive away from us. 7-hour drive from Russell. I can't do it. You're evil, Shawnee. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing like that? Good night. Yeah, I think we're gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave it there. But I am. Like his. It's midnight 38. It is time to put this thing to bed. So I'm gonna go to sleep because I do have to work in the morning. Um, to all 12 of you who are still here, all 12 of you are amazing, even though you haven't all commented. But I'd like to hear from you folks in the future. I just hi, my name is blah. You've never heard from me before. I've been watching, and I'll give you a shout out on the on the live stream. Um, oops, I know it. So I think it is time to go to sleep because I am done. Russell is done. And everyone except for Shawnee seems to be done. So everyone and Marcel, who of course. Um, Those of you who have not checked out Marcel's channel, you really must. If you're at all into cooking or baking, check it out. Which is what I wanted to say like 2 hours ago, for God's sakes. But anyway, there are still 13 of you here. Check out Little Fish in the Kitchen. Look, good night. I'm shutting her down because I'm about to fall asleep. Russell is asleep. This has gone way later than I thought, but I have had a freaking ball. So, between now and next week, everybody, please stay sane, stay safe, stay healthy, and be kind to one another. And for Russell, I will say, peace soup. Good night, everybody. I love all of you.